All right, you guys, welcome back to Thirst Trap News. I'm your host, Luna Lopez, and we will get started right after this intro.
I'm not your gossip girl, I'm the headline. Truth with a curve, baby, redefine. Welcome to the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. We talk love, power, soul, and sin. Turn the world on, let the light in. Yeah, the thirst trap news. You'll drink it up, it's the real you. Never try it, thirst bro knows. Where every headline's a revelation.
All right, happy Friday night. We are back for another episode of Thirst Trap News. I wish it was April 1st because I would have done something funny, but the idea occurred after the fact. Oh, the veil is thinning and they know it. You ever get that feeling that something isn't wrong, but just off? Not chaos, not coincidence, but choreography. Like the world isn't spiraling, it's shifting like tectonic plates. And we don't get a choice where our land moves. Slow, intentional, ancient. And you're standing in the middle of it like, wait, does this feel familiar? Because I think it does. Deja vu. Your soul is literally remembering. See, they've spent decades convincing you that reality is random, that history is just a sequence of accidents, that power is held by suits and titles and ballots and boards. But that's surface level illusion. That's the stage. Behind the stage, that's where the big shit happens. Energy, intention, ritual, patterns. Empires don't just fall because of bad leadership. They fall when their spirits rot. Rome didn't collapse in a day. It decayed from the inside out. Morality was blurred. Truth became subjective. Luxury replaced discipline. And the people, the people. They became distracted, divided, and disconnected from their inner knowing. Sound familiar? Because history doesn't just repeat, it like literally rhymes in frequencies. The frequency is just getting louder and louder right now. You can feel it in the tension in conversations, the way people snap quicker, the way truth feels slippery. Like you can't quite grab it without someone screaming, "That's misinformation!" Or "That's hate!" Or "That's dangerous!" Like dangerous to who? That's always the question they don't want you asking. Because when the truth becomes illegal, you're not living in a society. You're living in a spell. And spells only work if the target doesn't know that they are under one. Because here's where it gets interesting. The veil, it's definitely thinning. People are waking up, not in some cliche like Instagram quote way, but in a gut deep soul rattling way. They're questioning things that they never questioned before. They're noticing patterns. They're connecting dots. And once you see it, you just can't unsee it. That's why everything feels so intense right now. Because there's a war happening, not just for land, not just for power, but for perception. For your mind, for your spirit, your ability to discern what is real and what is manufactured. And make no mistake, there are people, powerful people, who understand exactly how this energy works. They understand symbolism, they understand timing, they understand fear. Fear is their favorite currency. Because a sacred population is easy to guide, easy to divide, easy to control. But a grounded population, a population that knows who they are, that a population that trusts their intuition, a population that questions everything, that's dangerous. Not because it's violent, but because it's free. And freedom does not come from governments. It doesn't come from permission. It comes from God. It comes from awareness. It comes from looking at the world and saying, I see what you're doing and I'm not playing along. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't about paranoia. This isn't about running into the woods and screaming at the moon. Although, honestly, sometimes that sounds therapeutic. This is about discernment. This is about learning to sit in the discomfort of not having all the answers and still trusting that something deeper inside you is guiding you. Because that voice, that quiet, persistent whisper that says something's not right here, that's not crazy. That's not that is literally your intuition knocking. And most people, they've been trained to just ignore their intuition. It's been totally snuffed out with many. They've been trained to outsource their thinking, to literally like defer to authority all the time, to wait for someone else to tell them what's real and what isn't. But you're not most people. You wouldn't be here if you were. There's a reason you feel things heavier. You notice things quicker. You question things deeper. It's not a flaw. Although you might be the black sheep and everyone says it's a flaw in you. But what it is a compass. And right now that compass is pointing to something big. It's a shift, not the end of the world, but the end of a version of the world. The kind built on illusion, manipulation, and blind obedience. And yeah, that kind of shift, it's messy. There's no way to avoid that. It's uncomfortable. It forces people to confront truths they'd rather avoid. But it's also, shall we say, necessary. Because nothing real can be built on something false forever. The truth always comes out. The truth always surfaces. Eventually the cracks show. The foundation gives. Eventually the truth rises. It always comes out. And when it does, there will be two kinds of people. The one who clings to the illusion because it makes them feel better. Desperate to keep the world the way they were told it was. Because reframing anything is just far too scary. And then there's the ones who step into the unknown, guided not by fear, but awareness. Some people really do prefer the truth, even if it's ugly. So the question isn't, is something happening? Because it is. The question is, what side of it are you standing on? And more importantly, are you awake enough to choose? Welcome to Thirst Trap News, my friends. Let's see who's here in the chitty chat. Oops, didn't mean to do that right there. Hey, Crispy. It was fun having you on the Break the Machine podcast. So I was on the Break the Machine podcast right before mine. It's on Big Red One Guy's channel. That was really fun. We talked about politics, talked about music. We talked about D's Nuts, who ran for presidential run in 2016. We talked about lots of balls. We talked about all kinds of things. Celebrity crushes. It was great. Jack says, happy Good Friday. Yes, happy Good Friday. I had a Good Friday show planned for you guys, but today went to absolute hell and I wasn't able to get the show together. So we're just going to be doing reaction videos. But on Sunday, I will be actually talking about what Easter really is. And what the true Christian holiday should look like versus what Easter truly is. And I think it's important because many of the Christian holidays are tied into pagan holidays. I'm not against the pagan holidays because they are about nature. I actually prefer them. As a Christian, I don't worship Jesus. I model his behavior. I do as he says to do. He says, do like I do, and you will receive the kingdom. He said, do not worship me, worship the Father. So I follow that instruction. And I look at Jesus like the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the King of Love, the King of Heaven. But Easter is important to understand how is one perfect holiday to start understanding how Rome interwove the pagan traditions after Rome's conversion to Christianity. The government converted to Christianity. So last Sunday, I went over Rome. I think it's important that you go back and watch that episode. Human Origins, the Roman Empire is what the title is called. Before we get into, Sunday, because this coming Sunday, because the Romans are the reason why pagan traditions are intermingled and disguised as Christian holidays. I think it's important if you want to be a Christian and you don't want to partake in anything pagan, that you understand what the holidays are. In fact, everything for Christmas that you put out is all Yule. Symbolism and colors and traditions, and Yule it's a nature celebration, a solstice celebration, which I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with. What I disagree with is the occult, the demon worship, worshiping the Dark Lord. I think nature worship was also not nature worship. Nature, being in sync with nature and understanding her as the spiritual mechanism that she is important, as well as being a Christian. So maybe Caesar was onto something when he interwove the traditions of nature worship with Christianity. Maybe he was onto something. But yeah. So getting back to the chat, Jack says, I worked in the Outer Banks, North Carolina today. It was a beautiful 80s day. Yes, I got to drive around with the top down, even though the mission I was on was stressful. At least I have my top down. Crispy says, even my sweaty balls. So yeah, we were making sweaty ball jokes on the other show because we pulled up an old Saturday Night Live episode about the sweaty balls. Whatever, y'all probably remember. But let me also post the show, since I got on an hour late, in my Instagram really quick. If y'all give me 1 second. All right. Let's see. Insta. Okay. 2 more. One more. Okay. Hang on, guys. So sorry. So I miss doing my Instagram lives. They're so fun. Hey, Cool Frog. Good to see you in the chat. My Instagram lives are so fun, man. Like, the crowd over there is a blast, but I'm really tired of Meta and their fucking constant, like, they're like the Gestapo, bro. Like, they just, like, golly, man, they can't just let you do your thing. I decided to have a sip of some rum tonight. My week has been so awful. I sometimes sit and I ask God, like, what is the reason? Like, why did you give me this life from birth? Because I have been persecuted since I was little. Persecuted. I mean, seriously, on every level, everywhere. And I've just lived such a difficult life interpersonally. And I just, like, want it all to stop. And I just keep, like, asking God, like, why do you keep letting me live through this? Like, when is the end? What is the lesson? What have I not learned yet? What am I missing? Because I want this over. I want all the pain to just stop. You know? Like, I'm tired of being misunderstood. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of everyone blaming me. Because in my family, I'm the only one that has the balls to fucking speak the truth. I'm surrounded by liars. They lie to each other about everything, you know? And I, like, have gotten treated a certain way not just by my family, but by society too. And like, you know, pile that on top of just like how difficult my life's been secularly, just, you know, getting started behind the 8 ball, leaving a cult, because when you're in a cult, you can't marry outside of it. You can't go to college. You can't like associate with anyone that's not part of it. So when I got out of the cult, like it took me 10 years to fully get out. I bounced in and out when I had my first daughter, from the age of like 21 till like I was 30 when I finally actually was able to get out. I had to move like across the country to do it. But I just like had this constant, ever since I left, you know, and had the issues with the cult, you know, while I'm trying to figure out the world and figure out how I'm going to keep up with the crowd in the real world, at the same time, I'm dealing with my family telling me I'm demonic because I left the cult, telling me that Satan has a hold of me. Literally anything I felt was attributed to being mentally ill. Because of the cult, like I probably needed more mental health assistance when I was younger than I got, you know, and I think a lot of things would have been better for me if my family understood what they were dealing with, you know, with a kid with serious trauma. And like, I think I inherited some of my autistic dad's autistic traits. I don't know if I'm on the spectrum. My doctors are curious about that because I do have a lot of them. It could be the trauma, because trauma, ADHD, so PTSD, CPTSD, ADHD, and autism and borderline and can look a lot like each other. And so, you know, when you're in a cult, they don't take like secular advice, worldly advice as serious. And it's just been a week where I'm just like, I can't communicate with anybody apparently. Like no one fucking understands me except for you guys. I think that's why I love my show so much, you know. You guys get me. Yeah, just going to the bank today, like I was so pissed inside the bank. I'm being so loud because I can't help it. When I'm upset, I'm loud. I cannot control it. I've tried so hard, but when I'm really happy, I'm loud. When my emotions are higher, I'm loud, and I don't mean to be loud, but it's not something I can control. Like even if I can be sitting there telling myself, don't be loud in my head, and I can't control it. So I'm in the bank, you know, trying to deal with this issue with cashing my check because I needed money like today, and they're just, banks have gotten so ridiculous with their rules and the things that they're allowed to do. So I was just, you know, like we're dealing, like the teller was younger than me. She thinks I'm younger than her because I look young for my age. She's having an attitude with me because I'm literally just asking questions, trying to understand why they have the policies that they have, like what purposes it serve, what liability is this protecting them from. And they're just treating me like, how dare you have any questions? Like, you should keep your money here, but don't ask us any questions. And I just had to call them out to their face, like to the manager. I didn't want to be a Karen, but she was saying the teller couldn't give me my terms and conditions for my bank account because I asked for a manager. I was like, you're not a fucking cop. Like, I'm not in an interrogation room. I didn't ask for a lawyer. Like, you can print the button or give me the packet for the terms and conditions. And so the manager comes over and she's like, oh, because you asked for the manager. And then like the manager's trying to like talk really soft at me like this. Like I needed her soothing. You know, it was just like, honestly, all of you can go to hell. There's no such thing as customer service anymore with these Gen Zers and younger millennials. And just the world, man, just trying to deal with the world. And then we got this medical thing going on here at the house. And it's just, I took a shower for the first time today in a week, y'all. And hold on, my camera's like so tilted. I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, I just took a shower for the first time in a week because I've been under the gun and like literally have had no time. Today is the first I ate and drank anything today was at 9:00 at night. I don't do credit unions, Jack, because of like they're closed at certain hours and weekends and stuff. But I don't know, man. I'm just like so tired of this world, man. I'm really so ready for everything to just collapse. Like I want to start over. Like I want it all to start over. Like we need to go back to hunter-gatherer, simplify everything down, deal with the chaos that's going to ensue from a great collapse. Let the stupid and the weak weed themselves out. The strong survives. Then you form your little factions, your smaller factions that form alliances with, you know, the neighborhood across the street, blah, 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 whatever it is, you know, and just go back to hunter-gatherer mindset. I am so over everything. And with what's going on medically here at the house, like not one person has asked me how I'm holding up, taking care of everything. Not a fucking soul is like, okay, but how are you doing? Do you need help? Do you need a meal made? Do you need your house vacuumed? Do you need help with anything? Do you need a hug? Anything. Nothing. The thing that I miss about being in the cult was if a church member had a surgery, the congregation made the meals, the sisters came and helped clean the house. The brothers came and made sure that, you know, their duties as men to support that family was available. When somebody's house got a tornado hit, the whole congregation donated time, energy, resources to repairing that house. I miss the brotherhood of it. The safety of knowing that there are others who feel obligated to be there for you because you're their sister in faith. And that just doesn't exist anymore. People aren't like that anymore. Nobody knows their name. It's less and less common to know your neighbors. You know, today when I took my shower, like this is probably TMI, but I don't really give a fuck. Like the dirt rolls. I was like rolling. That shower took so long and I was so tired. I mean, I was just filthy. And it felt good to wash my scalp. It felt good to just get hot water on me. And just kind of wash away the stress. So I didn't get to prepare a show today because like the chaos that happened today. It was just one fucking crazy thing after another. But I made it and I'm here and I'm dressed and I actually have makeup on and I have my cat ears on. So those always put me in a better mood. Crispy says, I want to give you a hug. Thank you, Crispy. I appreciate you. But we're going to doom scroll today, react to the bullshit that's going on in the world. So what I have on the menu for my thirsty friends is 1, please donate more. 2, how did we go from this to this? What do you think of Trump's Iran strike? What did Matt Gaetz say? Secretly MAGA. Nothing can be hidden. 20 years of service. Without America, we are defenseless. Ouch. Here's the unsettling conclusion. How big is the rainforest? Fuck these schools. April Fools. Aliens. Iranian open letter to the U.S. 1990s Hairstyles Part 1 and Part 2. So embarrassing. If Americans knew, they'd be up all night. Another win for democracy. First and last drink. Why Trump fired Bondi. Can't be Christian in the NBA. Thea Vaughn said it. Blake Lively is fucked. Iran shot down a U.S. jet. First photos released. Prepare yourself. Bibi is Amalek. And of course, fan of the day. I haven't seen any of these videos I'm about to show you yet. They're all gathered together by production. So I will be legitimately reacting to them blindly. Tomorrow, I know not all of you agree with me about Erica Kirk, and that's fine. I don't care. That's okay. But this is a free country, right? And we're allowed to think and on our own, right? We're allowed to think critically. Is my Rumble stream okay, guys? But what I'm about to do tomorrow is I'm about to lay out to you why I think it's possible Erica Kirk may be a honeypot spy, and that I believe that actors inside TPUSA took part in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to line out why I think that. It's going to put the whole thing together for you guys, the inconsistencies, all of it. The honeypot spies is not a new thing. It's happening right now. Look at Sean Ryan's show on the Russian spy. She's Asian. She was a spy for Russia. And she talks about celebrities that we have that are very prominent and well-known that are actually government spies that have children with their targets. And these spies all know each other. And they can't blow each other's cover because it's too dangerous. And a lot of these spies are women. And women are always going to look out for each other, you know. But so it's not out of scope that it could happen. And honestly, it didn't even occur to me that she could be one until she started saying certain things and reacting very psychopathically in ways that just like don't line up with like normal human behavior. So I tend to be the kind of person to think the good of people first. And then, you know, you have to be doing something to make me like see the bad in you. I don't see the bad in people first. I see the good in people first. And it's probably not a good trait. I don't know. But that's how it is for me. Sorry, guys. This backwater letting me know he's on the way. So yeah, I just there's a lot of inconsistencies that I would just like to lay out, and you know, and then again on Sunday we'll be going over like Easter and Good Friday and like what parts of the Easter celebration are actually from pagan roots, why it was included into Christian traditions. And I just think, you know, I'm not here to judge you on like how you celebrate any holidays, and I'm not here to tell you what religion you should be, because I don't think it's just that simple. Like everyone should just be a Christian. Like I happen to be one of the people that don't think it is that simple, and I happen to be one of the people that think that the divine God knows and understands the heart of the human better than any human can understand another. And I think that there's just certain things in people's lives like that speak to them the way God speaks to them the way he speaks to them. And I'm just here to give you the information so you can be informed, an informed participant in whatever it is that you take part in. The only thing I'll judge you for is if you like serve the Dark Lord, and that's it. Like that's the only thing I'm going to judge you for. If you serve the Dark Lord and if you harm other people and you enjoy doing it. Because I just don't get down with the wicked. I have a lot of forgiveness for the evil because, like Jesus said, forgive them, Father, for what they do not understand or what they do not know, or however the expression goes. But evilness comes from a place of ignorance. They don't necessarily know that what they're doing is bad, or they're not doing it necessarily to harm another person. They could just have bad problem solving skills, or one evil act on one side of the line could be a good deed on the other side of the line. I'm talking about wickedness. People that know what they're doing is wrong and love it anyway. That's who I judge. But without further ado, we shall get into our first video. If you're having a good time, please hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up and like my stream, like my video. Please share it out to any of your friends, anybody you know that's a critical thinker, that likes offbeat conversation, or, you know, share my show out, man. We need to get the word out, man. We need to get the word out. You know, got to make sure we have people who are shamelessly free thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Shameless free thinkers is what we're after. As long as you are critically thinking, I'm happy. But without further ado, let's get into our first video on TikTok. Please donate more.
If you think filling up your car with gas is expensive, you should try filling up the ministry plane with fuel. It wasn't cheap before the unrest in the Middle East caused the prices to skyrocket. Now it is incredibly expensive to keep the Jesus plane in the air. I need you to dig deeper and give more than you've ever given before to the ministry.
Wow.
Give until it hurts a little. I
Give
can't
it
keep
till
doing
it
ministry across
hurts
the
a
nation
little.
without the plane in the air.
This is disgusting.
You saw the lines at TSA on your social media. I would spend half my time in an airport. I couldn't pray in a crowd.
Yo, this guy's face is the car salesman face. Like, ew.
At the airport and listen to God's direction. So dig deeper. I know it will hurt, but that's when the blessings flow. The Lord will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Now here are your blessings."
What the fuck? How about you clean out your nostrils with... Ew! Give me money to fuel my jet. Okay, Pastor Shepherd. His handle on TikTok is Shepherd Prayer Hour. If you want to go harass him for being disgusting, because this is the Holy Week. This was the week Jesus flipped over the money tables in the synagogue. Because sharing spirituality and building each other up spiritually is not a business. That is a duty. That is a duty. It's a literal duty. It's free. It's fucking free. Like, you don't ask for money to fuel your jet. Now, if you were just like, hey, I don't have money for lunch, I'm still here, I'm at pulling an all day or at the church here, and you just casually mention like you're hungry because you don't have money for lunch. Yeah, that's different. That's and also you're supposed to donate out of the goodness of your heart. Genuine donations, not donations that are done under duress, donations that are guilting you into it. They should be able to donate in a private setting, however much makes them feel right. Because God is not going to expect you to donate until it hurts a little. You're supposed to take care of your family first. Period. And any pastor that wants to ride around on a private jet, you can do that. You can spend that money on from your side business, sir. If you want a private jet. This is disgusting. Do y'all remember that video I showed you guys with the black pastor that was telling the lady, shame on her for donating $1,000 and made her donate 500 more? Y'all remember that one? Yeah. This is why I don't go to church. I don't fucking go to church because it's a fashion show, number one. It's full of cliques. It is people spying on each other, talking about each other, gossiping about each other, measuring each other for spiritual health. Well, I can't associate with them because they're never at the Tuesday night prayer meeting, or I never see her volunteering in the youth group, or she never comments during church, or she never, like I can't. It's not genuine. It's all virtue signaling to each other. So you get the look of approval on someone's face and you feel fine about yourself. It's not what spirituality is about. Like, just shame on this freaking fat ass. Like, shut the fuck up. This guy. Ryan said hot. I wonder what that's about. Okay, next video. And feel free. I have so many of you that sit on my show that watch and don't comment. It drives me crazy. Who are you people that get on here and watch me, who love me? I want to be able to love you back. Who are you? Comment. Maybe one of you will win fan of the day. Like, who are you? I always have the same 4 people commenting in my freaking chats. Not that I don't want them to. I want them to. I love them. It's just I want to know who the other mysterious same set of 20 people are that get on and don't say anything. I want to know. Talk. People talk. Come on. Coach Crispy says I'm on my period. Haha. April Fools. Funny. A funny guy. Okay. How did we go from this to this? Next video.
How did we go from this?
That man. That young man.
She can forgive this guy so easily and so quickly, but she can't forgive that black dude who did a parody about her. You can't forgive people wanting to investigate your husband's murder because we're not satisfied with what the FBI said. But you can forgive this guy so easily. I forgive him. Shut up. Who talks like this? Is psychopath. This is acting. This is fucking acting. No one acts like this. And I'm sorry. I buried my son. You see that full face of makeup on her? There's no way in hell I was able to put makeup on that day. Actually, for like, I don't know, like a month.
I forgive him.
Okay. Look at them standing there. You know, I feel bad
this.
for the audience. It's like they want to believe this genuine. They want to see such a noble move. But it's just the way it was done, and I just feel so bad for these people because they bought into it right then and there. But let's continue.
30 years of service, the police officer that arranged to have Charlie Kirk's killer turn himself in quit last night. Interestingly, the same day this information came out.
This was 2 days ago. This is all verifiable. I think I know what she's going to say because I'm reading the comments, but let's go ahead.
Now, if you remember, Sheriff Nate Brooksby's friend, a retired deputy, called him with a shaky voice saying that he knew who killed Charlie Kirk and that this person was ready to turn himself in. But then...
New on the investigation, you say he admitted that, confessed?
No, not again. He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's.
He's not cooperating. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder fucking why. If you went to assassinate you by yourself as a regular citizen, got the fucking wild hair to go get somebody famous, you would want everyone to know you did it. You would want that fame. Like, they literally would be like, yes, I'm the dude who did it. I did the noble thing in getting rid of this guy who is so divisive. You would be claiming it because it's your trophy. I'm a hunter. I can appreciate a good rack on the wall. Nice, beautiful buck. You want to save it. You want to be like, yeah, I did that. Hunters don't not claim their bounty. And if Tyler Robinson is a lone wolf hunter, he's going to claim his bounty. But I don't believe the lone wolf lie. I'm not saying he wasn't part of it. I don't know if he was part of it or not. Some days I think he's a patsy. Some days I'm like, okay, maybe he is part of it, but I can't believe he's the only one because this is so obvious a state hit job. But let's listen to this governor stumble all over his words.
So that's very important.
So which one is it? Did he turn himself in and is he cooperating or not? Let's play the surveillance tape. Oh yeah, that's right. The surveillance footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself in was deleted because it had lapsed a 30-day retention period.
Don't you think you'd want to fucking save that for the trial? Look, he turned himself in.
Convenient. Now, last week, the family told a podcaster that only 2% of what the public is hearing about Tyler is true. Seems like this
I've been telling you, have I not been telling you that the parents, they were put under a gag order, so they've been using someone else to talk? They do not believe their son did this. The government is lying. The mainstream media is a government arm. It's a tentacle off the same squid. Most of the mainstream media is controlled by the intel and the CIA and all that fucking shit. You know, Rome. Just keep them the narrative we want out there. Keep them brainwashed. Keep them distracted with everything. Every time we think we're making headway in this or Epstein, something else happens, right? They're lying to us. We can see the patterns. I know you guys see the patterns.
Case against Tyler Robinson is unraveling by the second.
It really is like not a good case. I'm sorry, it's not. And now the bullet fragments are too fragmented to be able to tell if it's from that gun. I'm just like, oh, not shocking. Like, that didn't surprise me at all, guys. Not at all. Of course, so conveniently, they're not able to match the bullet with the gun. Oh, okay. Thought you guys had overwhelming evidence. The bullet would have been one of those things. I've watched enough Cops. I've watched enough Dateline, 48 Hours. Well, I guess one of the first things they want is that freaking bullet. And it's just now coming out that the bullet can't be matched because it's just too fucked up. Okay. Sure. It's fine. I like it. Whatever. It's good theater, right? Like, if you're awake and you're watching all this, it's good theater. Like, we're reading our popcorn. Us conspiracy theorists are just out here with our notebook going, check, check. It's good. It's good. It's a good time for like-minded friends to gather and discuss amongst themselves. But before we continue, of course, I have to bring you a message from our friends over at 1775 Coffee. All right, still haven't tried 1775 Coffee? Well, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus with no crash. It's all single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and, cha-ching, mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. You're going to get a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. And you're going to black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. And thank you, Ryan, for the rant. This is for finding the strength to shower, dress up, and do 2 shows in a day after all the hard work you put in while having to put yourself to the side to put me first with my medical issues. Love you. Thank you, Ryan. I love you too. I appreciate that. Ryan always is seeking to make sure I feel, like my show is not going unnoticed, and I appreciate him giving me $2. And thank you, Coach Crispy, for your $5 rant. Love you to the moon and back, Luna. Hang in there and be strong. We are always here for you. Thank you so much, Crispy. I love you too. You guys are wonderful. And I am going to be doing another show after this. Cool Frog has asked me to join him on his show after my show. So I'll be going over to Cool Frog. So make sure if you guys still want to hang, maybe I'll just raid Cool Frog and then head over there. So Jack says my PayPal will be coming this week. I appreciate you, Jack. I love all of you guys. Backwater's been super helpful too. I don't know if he's here yet. I know he said he was on the way home from work. He was trying to hurry up and get to the show, but Backwater's going to be helping me on my merch. Coach Crispy, if you want to help Backwater with that, maybe get in touch with him. And Jack, I am trying to get a better mic, like a better mic stand and a better microphone for the show and new ear monitors. So I appreciate you guys so much. Everything helps, especially because now we have medical bills to be paid. So that on top of everything in this medical situation is going to be a long journey. So with a lot of hard work and probably therapy and stuff like that. So, every little bit really, really helps. And, I do feel when I don't have a show and I know I'm supposed to be having a show, you can ask producer Ryan, like I get so much anxiety because I'm not giving you guys a show. And I know there's so many of you that, Tiffany, I don't know what that is in my chat, but please please keep the comments on topic. I don't know what that is, if it's a song or something. This is not a place to like promote other people's stuff. If you want me to show something on a show, I can do that. But I'm not sure. But Tiffany, I'm glad to see you in the chat because I haven't seen your name before. So welcome to my show. I don't want my little rule to like be a bad first foot. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So don't want to come across wrong. I love when I have fucking ladies in my show because my followers are predominantly 75% male. So it's always nice to see a lady in the chat. But yeah, so I'm trying to get, the new equipment. And then, what I was saying was I feel like very anxious when I don't produce a show for you guys because I know that this is a community and, sometimes I know that the topics are more serious, but, sometimes I think I should get on and just do a bullshit day where we just like browse the internet, browse YouTube and just like, I don't have any show notes and I don't have any agenda and I just talk and we just like hang out as if we're all just like kind of hanging out on my front porch. Because my front porch has always been like the hangout spot for people. So I think maybe I kind of want to replicate that in some ways on the show. And maybe I can reserve the caller hotline for those days. I think that'd be fun to have you guys call in and talk about your day every now and then. But let's get into our next video. What do you think of Trump's Iran strike?
What do you think of Trump's Iran strike so far?
I'm totally against it.
Why are you against him?
I don't think he had any foresight in what he was doing. For example, Iran proceeding to attack all their neighboring countries. I think it could lead to a world war.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Would you call it an illegal war? Because some people are calling it that because he doesn't have...
I don't know about the foresight. I think it wasn't a foresight issue with Trump. I think Trump got literally like played by Israel and Iran as well and got roped into that. That's what I think happened. I think Trump had good intentions because, here's the thing with the Iran war. I don't want it to turn into World War III and Iran is big enough for that to happen. But on the flip side, the Iranians want the bombs. They want what's happening. So it's hard not to support them. You know what I mean? I've seen too many American Iranians saying like, this is wonderful. And when you see them happy for it, it's hard to not support it. You know what I mean? Because we're all American. I'm Native American. I don't know what it's like to deal with an oppressive regime. This is the best country to live in. And I'm fortunately been lucky enough to be born here. And so it's really hard to like look at people from there or Venezuela or Cuba and like if they're happy about it, then I guess I'm fine spending my tax dollars doing that. I just don't want to be, my issue is I don't want to get into a world war because Israel asked Big Brother to come help them with the playground fight. That's my fucking issue. Okay, that's my issue. I don't believe in war. Like I think it's terrible. Like I hate war. But I understand that's just the way of the universe. Like everything wars with anything conscious, which turns out many inanimate things are conscious. War is a thing. I mean, the plants actually incite war upon each other. You see fungal attacks on other plants. You see just different things like animals have territory wars. It's war. I understand is just part of nature. It's the law of duality. Conflict will always arise because conflict doesn't equal bad. Pain doesn't equal bad, right? It's just the humanitarian in me doesn't like to see the casualties of war. If there was a way we could like all go fight our wars in Antarctica and just make that the battlefield and like literally go back to last man standing kind of thing and just sequester it like somewhere in the desert or in the polar desert, great, because there'd be no casualties that are innocent. the homes don't get destroyed, hospitals don't get used as cover. Like, if I was president, I would make a law that if you want to go to war, you have to do it over there in the arena somewhere, because I hate seeing children dying. And the thing about the East, the Orient, is they fight biblical wars. Like, their war style is not the way the West fights wars. Like, they're brutal. Israel fights brutal. And so does all the Semitic groups. They fight like it kind of reminds me of like Viking style. You know what I mean? But anyway. All right. I got off on a tangent. Ring, Luna rant. Okay. Let's get back to the video. Sorry.
Congressional approval?
Well, it's certainly extrajudicial. Yeah, I think it's probably a legal war. He doesn't get congressional approval for anything, so he's totally an illegal president, in my opinion.
Well, this was the Trump administration's justification. This is what he said was the reason for the strikes. The president had the constitutional authority to direct the use of military force on Iran because he could reasonably determine that such use of force was in the national interest. Does that sound convincing to you?
Of course not. He has not gotten congressional approval. He's taken upon the responsibility upon himself to make that decision.
What if I told you that this was actually the Obama administration's justification for bombing Libya for 7 months?
Well, then that was perfectly okay.
Well, do you think so? Was that illegal and was that dangerous?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't remember enough about that to really offer an opinion on it.
Do you think that was an illegal war?
I just told you I don't remember enough about it. I have to know more about it and refresh my memory.
He conducted strikes in Libya, bombings, cut off the entire airspace for 7 months, killed a lot of people without congressional approval. Similar situation, perhaps?
I don't know.
Okay. What do you think of Trump's Iran strikes so far?
Well, that was interesting. I don't hate the conversation. I don't agree with her, but I mean, there's some things I agree with her on, but it's just kind of funny. I was just fine with Obama. It just goes to show people tend to be like that, though. Like, we tend to be much more forgiving when we like someone or they're pretty to us or attractive. Like, when you like someone, you tend to be much more forgiving of like what you disagree with them, So at least, but she's saying she didn't know enough about it. Maybe she wasn't into politics at that time. I don't know. Interesting to be on the sidelines of that conversation, I'll definitely say. All right. Matt Gaetz hasn't been in the news much lately, but I guess apparently he's trending now. So what did Matt Gaetz say?
I think the most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in Which
is exactly what happened during Bible times. That is exactly how we got Jesus to the line of thought. Think about it. Mary, to have a virgin birth, all that means is she was artificially inseminated, people. And you have a primitive society, right? You have something coming out of the heavens. They think it's mystical. It could literally just be aliens. But there's a lot of episodes in the past on my show where I talk about why I have this theory. So I would encourage you to go back and look at them. But, and then also interdimensional beings can be angels, demons, or aliens. But aliens can also be angels and demons, because to be alien means to be not from here. So these interdimensional beings are one thing, but he's talking about biologics that are from our dimension, the third dimension, that they are trying to breed with us, which is what happened during this, how we know of Yahweh. This is how literally the Israelites worship Yahweh, who is an astro god, right? The Anunnaki are the astro gods. Yahweh has a tie to the Elohim as well. So there's definitely 3 levels of DNA mixing that's been happening: ethereal beings with physical beings, and then humanoid species mixing with other humanoid species. And I'm so glad to hear Matt Gaetz come out and say it finally, because as you know, my grandfather's uncle was a vice president, and so aliens has been the number one topic in my family because my grandfather was also a Freemason. And when he was approaching, I'm not going to get too detailed because I do not need any problems coming from anywhere, but he was approaching a very high degree during a spiritual ritual. He got abducted by aliens, and that's when he quit and totally defected from the bloodline. And it scared him enough to, and my grandfather is not the kind of man who's a liar. He doesn't even have a sense of humor. He was a husband of nature. He was a farmer in the military. And if he said it, I believed him. And it's just to see over the last 30 years of my life to be following all this with aliens and really having to dig in the early years of the internet, to now hear someone so prominent as Matt Gaetz say this is makes me happy, because then finally people are starting to feel guilty for not speaking up. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the video and listen to Matt Gaetz, because this is cool.
Galactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Go, Matt.
Non-human biologics. Interracial alien?
Yeah, so a biologic wouldn't be an angel or demon, because those beings are made of light. So this is definitely a third dimensional being from another solar system, another galaxy, etc. Probably from our own, because likely Nibiru, you guys know our solar system has 2 stars. And there's a planet, it's a dual solar system. There's one planet that makes a figure 8 between our sun, Sol, and that other planet, the other sun, I can't remember the name of it. It makes a figure 8. And every time it comes close, it provides easy access to Earth. So it's a Gaia planet as well, Nibiru is.
What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones. And
Billy Carson calls the Garden of Eden the outdoor laboratory. You guys, if you don't have, there's an app called the Gaia app. If you love my podcast, there's probably 2,000 fully produced shows. So the ancient aliens people have an ancient civilizations show on the Gaia app that inspired me to do the Sunday shows. So please go check it out.
From even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics?
That was the testimony of David Grush before the House Oversight Committee, which I joined.
I watched this whole thing live.
The testimony was that in crashes of craft that had been recovered by the CIA and through a special program that the CIA had for crash recovery, that it wasn't just the hard materials, it was also biologics, but that they couldn't identify a human source of those biologics. I think that.
So did you know that all humans have 1% non-human DNA that are alive today? It's non-human DNA. It's just food for thought. Food for thought. All right. Look, y'all, I can't hold a pin, apparently. So what? Okay, the next video is secretly MAGA. Like I said, y'all, I have not watched any of these videos before right now. So you're getting my true and honest reaction to these things. If you're having a good time, please hit the like button on my Rumble stream. And please share it out to your friends and family. Please encourage them to come listen. Especially if you have anyone in your family that appreciates like the libertarian mindset. You know what I'm saying? All right. Secretly MAGA.
Crack is in your pipe if you think that most celebrities are actually liberals. Now walk with me. The only reason Los Angeles is still blue is because people move to Hollywood with delusion and eating disorder and a dream, and they assume that they have to be ultra progressive in order to fit in and get ahead. Meanwhile, everyone who has witnessed the downfall of LA talks about it behind the scenes, but few people have the balls to say something out loud like Nicki Minaj and Amber Rose. Trust, if someone says, I agree a little bit with both sides, that's them testing the waters to see if you're going to crash out that they're low-key Republican. Now the media is trying to slaughter Nicki Minaj because they know that her publicly supporting Trump is going to lead to a ripple effect of people finally being honest that they are all over the woke BS. Just think about it. You really think that these wealthy people are dumb enough to want crime all over their cities, needles all over their streets, penises all over the women's locker rooms, taxes as high as Snoop Dogg, no shade, and ICE collectibles running wild? And not to sound tacky, but I've met hundreds of celebrities, pro athletes, influencers, as well as any sane person experiencing the hood ratification of their city, and literally every single one of them thanks me for being against the woke propaganda. They love me in my city.
Hi, we're actually huge fans.
Big fans. Thank you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Crack is in your pipe if you think that most celebrities are.
So when I was running for Congress, I went out to LA to have a counter hit piece written about me because, you know, the establishment was like having fucking heyday, right, with the brown conservative girl. And so I met with some people out in LA who could help me out with the, you know, the positive messaging or whatever. So that's why I was out there. And because that's the reason why I was out there, I got to meet celebrities that are like undercover conservative. And it's more people than you think it is. It's more people than you think it is. The man who owns all the holograms for the dead celebrities is who I went out to see. I'm not gonna say his name, but I was at his mansion, beachside or whatever. I met his dog, who was the third clone of his original dog, by the way. I got a private Tupac concert, you know, because of the holograms or whatever. So he fired it up for me. I got to watch Tupac. It was so dope. We got super stoned, and then we talked about politics, and, you know, we just kind of like, some people showed up there that were other well-known celebrities, and like I got to meet, well, I'll say this name, John Voight, who like literally was like, told me that I remind him of his daughter. Not that I look like her, just that like my vibes remind him of her. I took that as like a super big compliment because my parents always told me that I remind them of her. And so he's super conservative. The people that run the Special Olympics out there are conservative. There's like a lot of people who are actually conservative and are just scared to say something. They're scared to get, you know, doxxed or blackballed or fired. You know, yeah, Bruce Willis is one. I have a sneaking suspicion that Keanu Reeves is. Anybody who stays away from the Hollywood, like, cliquey party life, all that Hollywood, you don't see them hanging out in Hollywood. You barely see them at red carpet events. I have a feeling that they're conservative and they're not down with the Sodom and Gomorrah of Hollywood. Clint Eastwood, Chris Pratt, Mel Gibson, obviously. There's a lot of people actually out there, but there's some people that I won't say their name because it's just like not gonna do that because they have too much money and I don't want to like do anything. Andy Garcia, yes, Andy Garcia. Andy Garcia acted very well and held it down for the Cubano. Like I was really impressed. He was the perfect person because there's a lot of Cubans that look Italian. Actually, I thought I couldn't figure out what my husband was when I met him. I didn't know. I didn't have enough experience to realize to guess Cuban, but like after he said it, I was like, that makes sense. But a lot of them my husband looked, I couldn't tell. So what I thought he was initially, we did our DNA, unfortunately. Sorry guys, we got sucked into that. But it turns out he's 28% of what I thought he was. And I thought he was the dark Italian or Arabic. I couldn't tell. Both me and my husband look like people don't guess what we are at first. They always get it wrong. Except for this one girl from like the Morocco area over there. She just started at my husband's job a few months ago and she pegged Ryan. She was like, you got North African in you. Like Ryan looks Arabic. But he also looks a little bit Italian because there is a lot of that down there. So Andy Garcia totally looked like it was passable to me. Like the European descent, like I was like, yeah, that's a good pick for a Cuban. Well, Cuban is more of a nationality, actually. Really all the countries in the West are like that, but primarily America and like the West Indies and the Caribbean is very much more of a nationality because the Caribbean got populated by, the pirates, the slaves, the Indians, the Chinese, and the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Iberians. It was its trade route. There's a lot of the spices, the sugar, the rum, the cocoa. So it brought a lot of Eastern cultures over. But the West Indies are definitely called the West Indies because that's where primarily there is Indian descent mixed with the West African descent from slavery and piracy. And then there's also the Hispanic element. And then there's also the Chinese element in the West Indies. And then when you get into the Caribbean, it's a lot of African descent and a lot of native descent. So really the ones that are heavy native to Cuba, to me, are Cubans. You know what I mean? Like for real. But whatever, it's like Cubans obviously Cuba got occupied, obviously. But anyhow, let's go into the next video. If you are watching the show and you haven't said anything yet in the chat, please say hi. We would like to know who's there. We like to get to know you. I'm pretty interactive, so please say hi if you haven't spoken with us before in the chat here on Rumble. Okay, nothing can be hidden. Don't we know it?
The best part of the internet is nothing can be hidden.
Last time we spoke, you said that you weren't king, you were president. There were only certain things you could do unilaterally. As time goes on, 1,000 deportations on average a day. People are wondering, and our Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds, that's the question everybody asks. Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have. My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement. But if we start broadening that, then essentially I would be ignoring.
The best part of the internet is nothing can be hidden.
Last time we spoke, you said that you weren't king, you were president. There were only certain things you could do unilaterally. As time goes on, 1,000 deportations on average a day. People are wondering, and our Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds, that's the question everybody asks. Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids.
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have. My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to...
Nobody had a problem when Obama did it. When he was strict, he was strict. They all were strict. They all have been doing this. It's just, it's the orange guy. Anything he does, we just have to hate it, even though this has been going on for fucking 30 years in our country.
Those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement. But if we start broadening that, then essentially I would be ignoring
the best.
Did you hear any liberals whining and crying when he was doing it? Did you guys hear anybody saying that he is a dictator? Did you hear anybody calling him Hitler? Did you hear anybody saying he's fear-mongering the citizens? No, you didn't. Because Obama fit the narrative that they wanted at the time. Oh, first black president, blah, blah, blah. He's barely black, dude. Dude's barely black, in my opinion. I'm more black than that dude. That dude don't have an ounce of the black sass. He's got a little bit of the coolness, the cool cat thing. But he ain't one of us. Obama ain't one of us. He did jack shit for the black community. In fact, when I had my children, my first child and my second child, before me and my ex-husband got married, unwed, having 2 children, and I needed to get on assistance. I was working. My birth certificate says white because in the 80s, whatever your dad is, that's what they put you as for your race. Now it's just a free-for-all, put whatever you want. But my birth certificate says white. Turns out I'm 70% white, and it's by DNA, so whatever. Don't pick two. I don't care really. So I just put down on the application, so my documents all match that I'm white. Of course, I'm qualified for it, but they denied me because I'm white. So I was upset. I was crying. And I was like, why are all these other people get assistance and they're not even working? They're selling drugs and selling their food stamps, and I'm working and I legitimately need help. I'm not being someone that wants to be a lazy whore. And my dad was like, I hate to tell you this. My dad's white. He's like, I hate to tell you this. I really never thought this day would come when I would have to do this in your life, but redo the application and put down that you're black. I'm telling you that it got approved in 2 weeks. So what Obama did was created a system of dependency and destroyed the black American community. And we were doing so much better during Bush and Clinton and Bush, and basically since the end of segregation, we just had an upward trajectory. I mean, my first grade teacher didn't give me a chair or a desk because of my being black for 4 months, and my dad had to come to the school and handle that. But other than that, for me in my life, everything was good. I was getting, the black community was doing better. And then Obama happened. And then we had welfare galore, thug life, music videos, saggy pants. Everyone wants to be a gangster. It was just awful. It was fucking awful. It was awful. He wanted everyone. I have no respect for him because he gives me the same vibes Byron Donald gives me. I don't like Byron Donalds. I have met Byron Donalds several times. I've tried to get him on my show. He looks down on anyone of color who hasn't made it. He treats you like, a peasant. And I'm the one that has more of a right to be acting that way. I have a great uncle who was a vice president. Worship me. I don't act like that. You got this guy, Byron Donalds, running to be governor of Florida, who I'm totally against it, by the way. Fishback, I think, would have been a great choice. I don't know if he's still in the race. But Byron Donalds has the same black elitist mentality as Obama. And I would love it if he hears this, because I would love for him to come on my fucking show and have a chat. I would. Because he's a Israel kiss ass. Ryan says Obama was accused of smoking crack in 1999. That's the blackest thing he's done. Ha! I thought it was funny, Ryan. Maybe it was just too close to the truth that it wasn't funny. You know, sometimes, but see, I find those kind of jokes funny. Jokes that are really not jokes. They're just facts, but you say it kind of sassy. Yeah, those are my kind of jokes. Jokes that are not actually jokes. It's just true. I don't know what that's called. Ryan's the comedy expert. Like, this is his background, you know, theater and movies and TV and music and production and all that shit. Like, he probably knows what type of comedy that is. I can't remember. I don't know what it's called. It's like Stephen Wright. That kind of comedy. Just very dry, very literal. I don't know. Maybe it's my tisms. All right. Next video. 20 years of service. Let's see what this is.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media.
Okay.
During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation.
Notice the Arabic writing. Interesting, there's Arabic captions.
As a threat to national security.
Okay.
When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me.
No, good.
They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel
It's
posts.
starting. I'm telling you guys. It's starting. This is so bad. Y'all got to fucking wake up, people. I don't care if they're liberal or Democrat. You ask any person, are you willing as an American citizen to follow another country's laws? And just let the silence do its job and wait for their answer. And then educate them that this is happening. This is fucking happening. Bibi Netanyahu is the real president of America. And if you don't see that by now, I fucking need you to, like, come to my house and let me have a freaking, do a spiritual cleanse on you.
When I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed...
How the fuck is it national security threat for America to comment on Israel? The fact that a comment about Israel threatens the security of America should be the most glaringly fucking obvious sign to you that something is clearly fucking wrong, and it started at JFK. And Nixon. Eisenhower, Nixon. Yeah.
A national...
I'm going to be the one of the ones caught up in it. But what am I going to say? I'm going to keep it real. If they come knocking on my door, I'm going to live stream it immediately. Y'all be watching for my Instagram live notifications. You never know. Because you know I'm going to get caught up in this shit somehow.
A threat to national security because I do not support Israel and their genocide against the Palestinian people.
Thank you.
Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide.
We are not in biblical times. There is no need to be fighting a war the way Israel. I'm sorry. Have you seen Gaza? That is a gross overreaction to October 7th. And I have half a mind to start to believe that maybe, just maybe, that group you called Hamas that came into your country on October 7th was probably actually you yourselves.
Against the Palestinian people. Since when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated?
Seriously, especially a soldier, because their allegiance is only to America. Like, yeah, you gotta go help your allies, but if Chief says, fuck those guys now, Our allegiance falls on the commander-in-chief, and if he decides to turn his back on an ally, that's what we're doing. If you're a soldier, like your duty is to America.
For being a threat to national security.
America only.
So after 20 years...
America fucking only. Fuck America first. That was cute. America first was cute. MAGA, all that shit. Nah, man. It's America only. Fuck all these demon worshippers, baby sacrificing, Baal worshippers, bringing the Antichrist. That's the one country I don't want to be an ally with, is Israel. The most. Like, the Saudis and the rest of the Arabs have a hard-on for Israel because they understand that Israel's trying to bring the Antichrist, and the Muslims actually believe in Jesus. So, like, on that end, fine, cool, great, like, enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever, but don't fuck with my American lifestyle, don't fuck with my American freedom, don't fuck with my American wallet, don't fuck with my American permission, don't fuck with my American privilege, do not print flags on bombs that I didn't give consent for. Israel, I'm gonna need you to step it up and be able to handle your own fights. Maybe raise your taxes instead of fucking taking American dollars and letting all your women stay at home and raise babies on American taxpayer dollars. Stop it. Handle your own. You're not a real country if you cannot stand on your own. If you need America to fucking come in and fight your fights, then you are American. We are not Israeli. You are American, and we should absorb your country and make it a U.S. territory and fucking change everything about your fucking tolerance to Christians, change everything about your education, take over your country instead of what has happened. Your countries took over mine. Your tiny little countries took over mine because you're using religion as the way to do it. I'm sorry, but if you can't fight your own fights, you are not a real state. If you need to come ask us for help to fight your fights, you are not a fucking country. You are a member of the United States. And how about if you talk shit about America, we put you in jail? Because we're the ones funding your entire fucking lifestyle. How about that? And take me to jail on that. I'll go and sit in the fucking gulag right next to this soldier. Thank you for your service, sir. Sorry, y'all. There's about one thing politically that get me fucking mad, and it's that Israel shit. Because I see past the politics of it. This is fucking demonic. This is spiritual. This is foretold in the Bible. I get it that we're not going to be able to stop this. This is what's going to happen. And I hate that us here in America are caught up in it. We're going to be the ones. Think about it. If the Bible says that all the nations are going to turn on Israel, and Israel is the one coming to us to fight their fights, guess who they're going to turn on to? Fucking us. Everyone hates Americans in the rest of the world because they think we're like bullies. They think we're fucking bullies. Not okay with any of it. And if you want to put me in jail because I want to look out for my Americans first, fucking take me. Take me. Because I guarantee you what's going to happen outside my jail is a fucking vigil. Every month. Because I was out here defending you and me. Sorry, y'all. Man, I'm telling you, this shit makes me mad. It's because I get it, I can't stop it. But it's just like, fuck, man. Why couldn't I have been born in Costa Rica? Or like Iceland or something. Oh, man. Yeah. It's been a week for me, so I guess I got a lot of pent-up anger and pent-up frustration. It's coming out, man. But I like that it's coming out on a worthy opponent, a worthy target. You know, no innocent casualties being taken out by, you know, the real Luna Lopez. She ain't into that. All right, next video. Like I was just saying, without America, we are defenseless.
Trump is not going to leave NATO, all right? He's very, very...
And he fucking gotten better, he is not interested in any of you guys anymore. Because what is the point of the UN and what is the point of NATO if by now we're at war, you guys don't want to fucking help us because you're all a bunch of pussies.
Angry with us right at the moment, but you could argue he's done NATO a favour by making people start to pay a little bit more money into it. And
yeah.
we will not always agree with them.
You think if America's the only one paying their bills at NATO, you think your countries are going to have any resources? Man, buck up, put up, shut up. You want fucking the benefits. You're not going to have much benefits if one country is footing the entire most of the bill. Pay your fucking fair share and it'll benefit everybody. Everyone will do better. Aren't they for communism? Communism means everyone puts in their fair share.
Everyone's looking at this through the prism of Trump. Forget that. Think about any American president. And there are things they will do that we will agree with and things they will do that we will disagree with. But we have to face up
Froggy,
to one.
I only have 5 thumbs because the other 14 people are people who just sit quietly and watch my show and they're just scared to like it. They're scared to talk. I don't know why. I don't know why they keep watching me if they're scared to interact, scared to support me. Hit that thumbs up. There's freaking 20 of you on right now. I only have... Froggy just pointed it out. Why are there only 5 thumbs up on this show? Y'all are getting authentic fucking raw. Luna's getting raw dogged over here. And y'all only have a handful of likes. Israel's over here making me get fucking angry. Jesus. Anyway.
An absolutely bleak and brutal reality, and that is that without America, we are
Look at Coach Crispy. Stop being a fucking pussy and hit the thumbs up button on the video. No one will ever know who you were. No one will ever know you did it. No one will ever know. It'll be our little secret. It'll be our little secret. Come on, if that doesn't deserve a thumbs up, I don't know what does. Look at me. I'm in my boyfriend tee with my bra, my tats out, my little cat ears. I got my glasses, for the people who like the nerds, because y'all always see me like this, but I've been on the verge of a migraine, so I got the whole come on, man.
It's less.
Let's let this video replay. My bad.
Trump is not going to leave NATO, all right? He's very, very angry with us right at the moment, but you could argue he's done NATO a favour.
Yes,
by making
that's
people
for
start
sure.
to pay a little bit more money into it.
Yes.
And we will not always agree with America either.
You just have
Everyone's
to agree.
looking at this through the prism
You just
of
have
Trump.
to honor
Forget that.
your deal.
Think
We
about
shook on
any
it.
American president. And there are things they will do that we will agree with and things they will do that we will disagree with. But we have to face up to one absolutely bleak and brutal reality, and that is that without America, we are defenseless. Defenseless.
Yes.
Trump is not going to lead.
Say it louder for the people in the back. All right. Next video. Ouch.
And then you have boxes in front of it. It's all I'm not trying to shoot you.
Oh, God. It's not funny. Oh.
I don't know. Take a second.
Oh.
And then you have boxes in front of it. It's all I'm not trying to shoot you.
Yo, she turned into a whole ass letter C. Poor baby. She saw her body flip over the back of herself. She turned into a letter C. Man, I'm going to get paid back for laughing at her. Coach Crispy said, my bad, Luna. More people need to grow some balls. They were very sweaty balls we talked about on Red One Guy's show. Yes. Y'all about to be bombed by me and Crispy Carnivore with brutal jokes if y'all don't thumbs up this. Oh, man. Y'all are the best, man. I love my little crew. Man. We got to do a meet and greet. We got to do a meetup and where I do a live podcast event, man. I am so excited for that. Oh, man. It would be so fun. I could make it a cosplay one. So we all come dressed up as something fun. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. A cosplay episode. Yeah, I know. I'm really disappointed. But maybe while I read this little ad break, you know, they'll find the balls to come on. All right. Here's a little inside scoop that many creators are talking about behind the scenes. It's actually one of the reasons I'm using Rumble. They made a way to super chat creators so we get paid immediately and without any fees. YouTube and Twitch take up to 50% fees when you tip creators, and this method takes none. That's right, the platform takes 0 fees. I keep nearly 100% of what you send me. You can super chat with Bitcoin, Tether USD, or even Tether Gold stablecoins. The tip will show up directly in our Rumble chat, which I will do my best to read. All you need to do is download the Rumble wallet on the App Store and send the tips to your favorite creators. You can go to wallet.rumble.com or you can download the app directly from the app stores. Seriously, what an amazing way to get rid of the middleman and help the creator economy. Shout out to Rumble for making this disruptive technology. Yeah, the banks are like, it's scary how much control they have over your life, and you don't know it unless you get debanked. And I've met quite a few of those people in politics that have gotten debanked, and their life is very complicated. All right. Here's the unsettling conclusion. Next video.
Here's the unsettling conclusion that's hard to escape with our current reckless adventure in Iran. This was not in Trump's interest. If he loses the House and Senate, he will likely be impeached and convicted, which means there won't even be a remainder of this presidency. Why would a president engage in an action that seems very likely to end his presidency?
Because he wants to be known as the liberator and peacemaker. Like, he's going around, if you haven't noticed, he said he wanted to be the president of peace. He ended a bunch of needless wars, and he's going around and taking out dictators that are making people live lives that are not peaceful. That's why he made this decision, even though these are the risks.
Is the question, isn't it? This feels like someone wished to burn down the Trump presidency and hobble the United States. Given what Marco Rubio said, I feel like this president probably wouldn't have done this if he had had a real choice. Is there any chance?
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. They tried to kill Trump. If you noticed, after they took shot at him, now we have Palantir protege J.D. Vance as a VP. After that, we start to see Trump kissing Israel ass. And remember, Chuck Schumer jokingly said, the intel agency has 6 ways from Sunday to take you out, Trump. Okay? Please, mind your P's and Q's. I think Trump just doesn't want to die like Charlie Kirk did. I think that's why he's going along with Israel's hard-on. I absolutely feel like if there was anything in the Epstein files about him, they would have used that while Biden was in office. I don't think there's anything real in there about him. But what I think they do have him on and able to blackmail him is, hey, next time we won't miss. You got lucky because you just happened to turn right as I took the shot. Next time, we won't miss. That is what I think is happening. I do not think this man is wrong. I think this man is actually on it. This is on Tucker's show, this guy, by the way.
That the purpose of this.
I like Tucker 60% of the time. He's like a golden retriever to me. I'm a bully owner. I like a little bit more testosterone, a little bit more cynicism, like a little bit more guff. But I love him for the fact that he is like a golden retriever because he sees the good in everybody first, a lot like me. But his haircut really pisses me off.
System is what it's just done, and that really the idea is Trump beat them every step of the game to this point, but they weren't going to allow him to win in the end, and burning down his presidency was a feature, not a bug.
Of course. Yeah. You got it. You got everything you said is true.
Here's the unsettling.
Oh, man. I like this video. This is Brett Weinstein. I like Brett Weinstein. Brett Weinstein is very good at seeing patterns. Brett Weinstein is somebody I've been wanting to learn about more. I keep thinking about it. I keep like every time someone mentions his name, Candace Owens will mention his name a lot, and I keep going like, oh, mental note, like go down a Brett Weinstein rabbit hole or whatever. But this video just convinced me to make that a priority. Because what I have noticed of him hasn't seemed that bad. All right. How big is the rainforest?
How big is the Amazon rainforest?
The Amazon rainforest is something like 7 million miles squared. It's larger than the lower 48 states.
Wow.
It's absolutely tremendous. It's the largest contiguous rainforest on Earth.
And are there parts of it that people have never been to?
100%. There are still parts of the Amazon rainforest that are unexplored. There's parts of the Amazon rainforest that no one's ever been to. And if you really want to blow your own mind, the canopy of the Amazon rainforest is about 150, 160 feet up above our heads, which is far. Half of the life in a rainforest exists in the canopy. So you're talking about the most mega biodiverse biome that has ever existed. There's never been more terrestrial wildlife anywhere on Earth than in the Amazon rainforest, and right now. In the entire fossil record, we're at the apex.
I literally get down rabbit holes about the Amazon rainforest and the Amazonian people.
The climax community of the Amazon rainforest. It's that brilliant. Where the Andes rainforest cloud forests meet the lowland tropical Amazon. There it is. That's the most life we know of in the entire universe.
Wow. That is profound. I've never really realized that before. And there's Coach Crispy. The Amazon is number one. Still going with the jokes. Just looking at the comments on Facebook over there. Just one comment. Have you seen Trump's video over 40 years ago? He said that someone needs to stop Iran. This was over 40 years ago. That was from Mark. I have not seen that video, but thank you for informing me. I would love to find that video. And Mark Matson says, thank you for your show. It's pretty good. Thank you, Mark, for tuning in. I appreciate having you with us. If you want to experience more of my community, head over to Rumble. You'll find me over there, and most of my people chit-chatting amongst themselves on Rumble, and of course me chiming in every now and then reading the comments. All right, so next video, how fuck these schools.
How big?
Breaking news.
How big is the Amazon rainforest?
Oh.
The Amazon rainforest is something like 7.
Breaking news. A minor has just been arrested after a 12-year-old girl died at Reseda Charter High School.
The parents of Kimberly Zavaleta say their daughter was defending her sister against a group of bullies 2 months ago. They say the girl was struck in the head with a metal water bottle. The video was uploaded to TikTok. She suffered major brain bleeding and died less than a week later. Her parents say they reported multiple incidents of bullying to the school. They've since filed a claim against LA Unified. The district tells Eyewitness News LAUSD does not comment on pending or ongoing litigation.
Breaking news. A minor has just been arrested after a 12-year-old girl died at Reseda Charter High School.
The parents of Kimberly Zavaleta say their daughter was defending her sister against a group of bullies 2 months ago. They say the girl was struck in the head with a metal water bottle. The video was uploaded to TikTok.
No, it wasn't just a metal water bottle that did that shit to her. She got repeatedly stomped in the head to have brain damage. I don't know what is going on with parenting these days, but if you are raising little thugs that think it's fun to go harm people, fuck you and your parenting. Fuck you and your life. You don't deserve to have children. There are plenty of other people who can't have children that should have had that opportunity. What is wrong with you raising little psychopaths that you think that that's the solution? And what is wrong with schools? Schools have gotten so ridiculous. Oh, we can't control this and we can't control that and blah, blah, blah. And like, they don't do anything to stop that. I'm sorry. If I was a teacher watching that go down, somebody would have gotten something stomped out of them, because I'm not about to let nobody get hurt, get killed. Are you serious? Like, what is going on? Who let this happen? Where are the adults in all of this? And to all of you who are sitting there with your phones recording it and not helping the girl, fuck you too. And I don't care if you're underage. Fuck you too. You have bad morals. Bad morals. You wouldn't see me filming. You would see me fucking breaking that shit up. I broke up a fight the beginning of last school year between two grown-ass men in Walmart. Crowded Walmart. It's just my nature. That's how I was raised. If you can save somebody, you do it. What's wrong with all y'all? These kids are turning into little thugs because they're watching a bunch of all the adults be completely unregulated. They're watching the left think that all the solution to everything is violence, throwing rocks, throwing ice, throwing things, beating people up. This is why I want to be a cop. This is exactly why I want to be a cop. For the kids. It ain't even for the adults. Honestly, I'd probably let most of the adults just be on their way, honestly. But it's the kids. It's fucking kids need freaking a parent. And I know how many parents are not out there or don't know how to be. Being a cop would be the best way. Because I love kids and I can't have any more and I want more so bad. And I think being a cop for me would be the best way to like do it. I keep fantasizing about being a cop and it's just like, need to make a decision on it, man, because I'm getting older. I tried to be a dispatcher after I ran for Congress and I got an interview in the county. Our congressperson was the former sheriff of that county, so they didn't like me off rip. And then I go sit down for my interview and a girl that I was dating is a sergeant in my interview. And I'm like, great. I just lost my interview before just walking in. And then she tried to pretend she didn't know me so she could help me out and then fucked up and slipped up and said, oh, that's right, to something I said, which means I know the second I got done with the interview, they asked her, like, what was that about? And then they were like, well, since you're going to be your supervisor, you can't, like, it was just, and the reason they gave me was such bullshit. I knew it was bullshit. They were like, well, we just don't think you're ready. And I'm like, you're full of shit. I ran for Congress. You don't think I'm ready to be a dispatcher? Shut the fuck up. I know how to multitask. I know how to solve problems. I know how to fucking deal with crisis. It's all I'm ever in is crisis. So I'm going to try in another county, or just maybe being a city cop. I don't think I want to be a deputy. I think I'd want to be a city cop. I don't know if I want to work for the county. Maybe, I don't know. It might be cool to be a trooper. But I know there's like really high expectations to pass like certain things to be a trooper. But anyway, all right, so let's get going back into it. I cannot believe that. That is just, I feel so bad for those parents, man. I know what they're going through right now, and this is like, their whole world right now feels like a black hole, like the event horizon is upon you. Everything feels like an inward suction into the depths of you don't even know how deep it goes kind of depths. It's just... Crispy said, Luna, you are already a trooper to us. Thank you so much, Crispy. All right. Next video. I know, I heard that backwater. That's honestly though, I wouldn't be getting to get to deal with the youth in the community if I was a trooper. So that was just kind of like a fun, sassy thought. But just because I'd like to be sassy, being a trooper would be sassy. But I got attitude, you know. But I think being a city cop would be cool for me because I really care about my community. I'm not sure about the county thing, you know, but maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I like the black uniform. The black uniform is better than the green one. Just kidding. All right. Next video. April Fools.
I'm sure you heard about the war in Iran.
Yeah.
President Trump knows how to end it. He says he's going to buy Iran and make it the 51st state.
That.
Oh, God, that's dumb.
Leave Iran alone. Trump is money hungry.
Where were you when you heard this news?
At my gate.
Leave Iran alone. She sounds like she's from the Caribbean. Leave Iran alone. Yeah, leave him alone. We don't need to bring Muslim culture to here. But isn't that funny what I was saying? I was going on my rant about Israel should be an American state. If we're going to fight all their fights, they should just be under our federal laws. In fact, I should have won office so I could introduce that because I'm fucking tired of this. I would have been so loud about this Israel shit if I had won my congressional run. So loud. Y'all have no idea. China was nothing. Everybody was talking about China when I was running. I was like, yeah, but what I'm starting to learn about Israel running for office, being around all of you, ooh, I found what the truth is. I found the truth. I found the truth. This is biblical. This is biblical. Of course, you would seek out the world power to fund your quest to bring back the Antichrist.
The airport. I was at home with a friend and my mom actually called me.
What's your mom say?
She was just like, we have to keep an eye out for this. I was at home in my living room.
What channel did you hear that on?
ABC channel.
Who was the news anchor reporting that?
Stephanopoulos.
George Slopadopoulos.
The Democrats. They're lobbying the NFL to create a women's team.
I don't see why it's a bad idea.
If you're committed to inclusion, be committed to inclusion.
Women should do it. Y'all should play football.
I did hear about that, and we had a
No, maybe like the big Amazonian bitches, the big, Icelandic Viking bitches, they can play football, but women like me ain't playing football.
discussion.
Who'd you tell?
My girlfriend. I was like, dude, you gotta sign up.
What'd she say?
She said, if you're my cheerleader, then I'll join.
Give me a C. Give me a... All right, I got it. You remember Elon Musk?
I love Elon Musk.
He just announced that he got an alien pregnant.
He named his child.
What? No, he didn't. That's April Fool's, right? That's April Fool's. Hold on. He's got to be telling people like fake things because it's April Fool's. Right?
An equation, so...
Yeah, they're made up news stories.
That tracks.
It's possible. Why not?
That's exactly what he did.
I mean, he is obsessed with space. He's fucking loaded AF. He's like one of the richest people in the world. Totally one of the elites. Like, totally is going to be the one that, like, escapes this planet if an asteroid hits. Like, if it's happening in our imagination here in this timeline, I'm sure it's happening in another one. I'm sure he has an alien baby in a quantum timeline, parallel timeline.
He did, didn't he? I told one of my friends, my girlfriend, like, yeah, right. And they're like, really? Alien?
What's your girlfriend's name?
Her name is Jackie.
Jackie, are you here?
She just said, yeah, I told one of my girlfriends, and she was like, really, alien? This guy making up stories on the spot, and she just lied bold-faced like that. Wow. Psychopaths exist.
Where's Jackie?
This man's a stranger. You don't even have to lie to him.
Have you heard about the scandal with the new Bachelorette?
Hell yeah, you're talking to the right person.
Well, then how'd you feel when they announced the new Bachelorette, Sydney Sweeney?
Her manager needs to be fired?
I saw people reacting.
Oh, these people. Like, why are you pretending to be in the know? You don't want to look not in the know? Just say, what the fuck are you talking about? I would love to be the one to catch the guy in his joke on camera.
What were people's reactions?
Some people really hate it, and some people like, oh, get mad at her for saying the whole thing about the jeans.
The new Bachelorette? Okay.
All the men like her because she has two really beautiful eyes.
I do.
Jeffrey Epstein found alive in the British Virgin Islands.
I did hear that one.
Duh.
That's hilarious. On Break the Machine, we were talking about Sydney Sweeney, and I said she has really pretty eyes because one of the hosts was like, I don't find her that hot. And I was like, she has pretty eyes. That is hilarious that came up.
How long ago did you find out this?
Maybe yesterday.
He should be in prison.
Jack, I want to have you on my show, by the way. Like, you have been saying things that have so intrigued me because I think our lives are quite paralleled in a political way, possibly a bloodline way. And I would love to have a conversation with you on the side, privately first, by phone, and get to know you because it's like you are like, to me, like the world's most interesting man. Like, and I want to know more. And then I want to have you on my show because like so a lot of people got to meet Backwater because I brought him on a live. So I think it'd be cool to like have my OGs come on a live with me every now and then. It's very easy. I send you a link and you just click it and you use your phone. All right. So let's keep going. Oh, you guys like this is my office, AKA my set. There's my skateboard. There's my light that my dad likes to flicker during my shows when I'm saying something he likes. There's some of my toys. This is one of the reasons why we're not sure if I'm autistic or not, but like I play with toys. I display them and I play with them. I save them. I keep them. And then here's all my religious, psychological, and spiritual stuff over here. And then like behind me is my altar. And so you can see I have my cross up there. That cross actually comes from Jerusalem. It was made from the olive trees there. It has frankincense and myrrh and everything from there. It is built made out of the trees from the actual nativity area. And then I have my mortar and pestle right there. Some deer antlers because hashtags turn on us. And then, you know, my little like anime stuff back there. And then like all my nature stuff and crystal. So I made a crystal rock garden. Here, I'll do this. I'll show you guys. Let me switch camera. Oh, I don't know if I can stretch the camera that far, but I can try. I'm trying to get a closer camera. So there's my little altar, and it's got, you know, just like different crystals, and I made like a little gnome garden out of my What'd I do? Okay, good. We're back. So yeah, I made like a little gnome garden. I hit page down by accident. It made the whole computer blip. I thought I lost y'all for a minute. I was like, that's what I get for playing with the equipment. All right. So yes, that's the fun stuff. That's my Luna layer. Yes, crispy. It's funny you said Luna layer because I actually do say that. I refer to it as my Luna layer. But let me look at the chat. Cool Frog, were you on her live? He was on my live. He was on one of the after party shows. And I invited him on, and it was super fun. Which I think I'm going to do that more often and get some of my OGs like on the show so we can all like get to know the face and the voice and everything and have you in our minds when we watch you type and chat. But this is freaking funny, these April Fool's stories. Oh my God. I love content creators, man. You find some really creative ones.
I did see that.
Where have you heard this news?
I heard this actually at my home with my grandmother.
What was your grandma doing when you guys heard this?
We were cooking.
And she's Hispanic, so they probably were cooking. No matter what they're doing, they're cooking. So she just came up with that one quick.
President Trump just announced the other day that he's redecorating the Statue of Liberty. He wants to make her more attractive.
Kind of a waste of money.
Seriously, like they're
That was a dude. That thing's a guy.
Liberty. He wants to make her more attractive.
Kind of a waste of money.
seriously like they're people dying everywhere.
Trump is from New York, so he thinks he has some claim over this, but he definitely does not.
It should just be left alone.
He said,
I would agree if Trump said that. I would be like, you doing too much, bro. I love you, but you're doing too much.
he wants to put her in a pink top and blue jeans.
That's weird.
He said she's a French 4, and he wants to bring her up to a New York 10.
Is that not the same thing?
If she can get the paintwork and a drop, go for it.
Where did you read about this?
The newspaper.
Nancy's haircut's on point, though. Look at this. Do y'all remember that? I remember that. I love the drama during a good State of a Union address. Ooh, I love it. I am here for it. I have not missed a State of a Union address for many, many years because there's always some stupid shit that happens. I love it.
Zoran Mondani. He says he's slapping a tax on texting, 25 cents a text to help.
That's actually funny because he would do that. I would have busted out laughing if he said that to me. I'd have been like, bruh, get him on the phone.
Help the homeless.
Was it last week sometime? I don't even recall. I think my kids text a lot, and I told them about
Oh my God, I'm telling you, she's from Trinidad. Don't give us a bad name. I don't know.
That's a lot of tax for just a single text.
35 cents for the rich.
The rich are getting some more tax.
So now it's better.
It is better.
I'm not really on my phone like that. I'm more of a call me.
$1 per phone call.
$1 per phone call? Throw my phone away.
Feel free to throw a snowball at me.
I don't know.
April Fools.
It was all shut up. It was not April Fool's. You were just saying this all just.
That's definitely a guy.
Okay.
But the curly
got
hair,
me.
gray shirt, that's a dude.
I'm sorry, Mama.
I look like a idiot.
Oh, that's because of that. I'm going to let the TV see me shine.
Yeah,
Do you know who I am?
Got caught
No.
lying, all you
Here's Johnny.
Yeah, you know, Johnny, that's Johnny?
She don't even know. She doesn't even know who Johnny is. Now it makes sense why this black lady tried to pretend like she knew everything, because she don't know nothing. She don't be watching nothing. I tell you, if she is Trinidadian, what she's doing is dancing and probably drinking. So she don't know what's going on. Trinidadians don't be all over the news like that, man. We like comedy is our thing. Telling stories is our thing. Funny stories. And dancing and wearing gold, of course. And carnival, you know. And a little too much lovemaking, because every family in Trinidad got like way too many kids. I got like 10 kids, I swear to God. Okay, next video is gonna be fun. Aliens?
Here we go. So,
yay! Another human-alien hybrid video. Stop it. I am gonna have to do research on this, because y'all have heard my story and why I have the beliefs I have, because there's always a scientific explanation to what we think is mystical. Virgin births aren't that mystical. I do it at least twice a year with my animals. Every couple years. Let's see, alien hybrid. So did you know during the solar eclipse we had a few, like 2 or 3 years ago, that CERN, when they opened that portal, they discovered a 4D being. What is a 4D being? Because we know that, well, I'm about to send you in a rabbit hole. Did you know that it's a myth that time is the fourth dimension? Because time doesn't actually exist. It's a third dimensional human construct. Time doesn't exist. It is only now. Everything is one continuous moment. Think about it. To the sun, there is no day and night. To, like, time is incredibly relative. It's incredibly relative. It's only right now and one continuous moment of now. We're just so small that we perceive shadows, i.e. the sun setting and rising, and that movement as time. We had to come up with the construct of time because we need order in our life. Because of the high level of sentient consciousness that we need order, because we are prone to chaos because of free will and the higher order thinking that we have above the animals. There's not chaos with animals because they're locked by instinct. We have free will and the divine spark, so we can actually ignore our instincts and behave in conflict with our instincts. So since we're prone to chaos, we do need the construct of time, which I think was taught to us by the higher beings, but the actual time as a mechanism does not actually exist, because everything is one continuous moment. So pretend you live for 1,000,000 years, okay? Let's say you're some sort of species that lives 1,000,000 years. You look at the humans, well, in one of your days, you saw thousands of humans live full lifetimes, die, have babies, and have next generations, because you live so long. See what I'm saying? So it's relative. I don't even know why I got on that tangent about time. Anyway.
it's been a bit of a lull, but this is where shit hits the fan. So, here we go. So a story is starting to gain traction in US media that combines two things, okay, which is the claims of secret hybrid breeding facilities involving non-human entities, courtesy of Congressman Matt Gaetz in a recent podcast, and a series of scientists and officials connected to advanced space and defense programs disappearing or being killed. Now, some would say that this is coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences when it comes to this stuff. These claims were pushed into the spotlight after...
There you go, Crispy. Brilliant. Time, the non-spatial continuum in which events occur linearly and in the direction of increased entropy, a construct. So in layman's terms, you can have things that occur in a sequence, in a linear sequence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a different moment in time.
So comments from Matt Gaetz and a response from Tim Burchett, who again commented on Matt Gaetz' comments, both of whom say they've been briefed on highly classified information regarding these things. Cliff notes.
Honestly, time is nothing but events. It's really all it is. It's just an event, that you measure against something.
Again, for Gates, effectively, Gates claimed he was briefed by a U.S. Army official, described hybrid breeding programs. Allegations include non-human entities breeding with humans, creation of hybrid race. The purpose is for intergalactic communication.
Yes.
So I'm guessing
So there is a galactic federation. Don't ask me how I know that. Maybe another show will get into that, but there is one. And I think there's a war happening in space right now. I think there's all the sparkly lights we've been seeing in the sky. Like we've been seeing like things burning up, moving slowly. We've been seeing like weird things. I think either it's us attacking our satellites, Iran and the war and everything, or it could be aliens. I don't know. There's a lot happening at once, but the Bible said during the end times, there'd be like all things are happening at one time. So I don't know. So they're trying to prep us. I knew 2 years ago they were trying to prep us to introduce us to aliens because they were having those congressional hearings. Now they're allowing Matt Gaetz to say what he's saying publicly. And let me tell you, he's not dissenting. He's being allowed to say this. So they're trying to softly get our psyches warmed up because they're going to introduce us to an intergalactic diplomat. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to happen in our lifetime, but I think all of us right here in our 40s are going to be older, much older, maybe another 40 or 50 years, or maybe it's closer on the horizon because they're trying to warm us up to it. Maybe it's 5 to 10 years. Who knows?
Referring to the remote viewing aspects or something of that nature. Again, as I've said to you before in some of these videos, when you speak to people like Hal Puthoff and other people that have been working on this, it appears that there is some sort of universal network of which we can tap into using remote viewing. If you look at the Monroe Institute and you look at what Joe McMoneagle was talking about, because he worked for the CIA for 3 decades on this stuff, it seems to be all interwoven, and it's very much associated with the UAP topic, which is a very interesting piece of information on that. So additional claims here.
So since we're talking about aliens and looking at your comment, Backwater, about Einstein's theory of relativity, the interconnectedness of that basic. So what they did discover is that the blackness you see out in space is a fabric. It's a substance. It's thick. It's not air like what we're used to. It's thick, right? And what they realize is you can bend that fabric of space and shorten the distance to travel to get to other star systems much quicker. There's a theory that this knowledge was given to the US government through the Roswell landing and everything at that point. Now, when it comes to bending time, for example, speed is one of the things that create a time warp. Think about the Flash. If speed is another one of those things that gives you your relativity of time. So if you could move 1,000 miles an hour or move at the speed of light, everything else would appear frozen in time, like it's not moving. And that's the crazy thing. And the connection here is when you look at your desk or your computer, your phone, whatever hard, solid object you're looking at, it's stationary, right? To you, it's stationary because you vibrate much faster than that object, because it's been proven that everything is in motion and everything is vibrating. That is why time is not an actual real part of the physical environment. It's not part of like the creation. It's just existing now, here, now. I'm sure it is part of it, because the Bible does like break down like one earthly day to one of God's days is like 1,000 of one of God's days is 1,000 of our days, and same thing with a tortoise, anything, a fly. When you look at a house fly, they live like in a matter of several hours. So for them, everything is much speedy. You move in slow motion to a fly. That's why they're so hard to swat, and you have to be really good at like being really still right before you're ready to strike, because they can see your tiny little body mechanics that are gearing you up to swat way before you even hit your brain that you're doing it, because their time perception is so much faster because they have a shorter lifespan. And you have something like a tortoise that outlives a human being, right? Its perspective of time is much slower, so its days in its sense are longer. So that's all kind of like what we're talking about. It's if you actually just sit and think and like kind of get the noise out of your brain, you've gathered enough information in your life to really understand the things that you're questioning. And it brings a level of peace to start to understand these things because you don't feel the pressure that secular society and government and religion has put on you once you start to free yourself of the matrix programming. Because the goal ultimately is serenity for all sentient beings. And the way to achieve serenity is by learning Christ consciousness, connecting to the divine, and thoroughly staying connected to your human experience and remembering that all you have is right now because the past is gone and the future isn't here yet.
Are that humans involved allegedly taken from war zones, migrant caravans, and described as forced programs suggest these are real locations known within classified military circles. Again, just to point away from that, when Burchett was asked these questions, he was very, very, not shady, but very careful and said that I am sane. I am not in no way do I want to commit suicide, or I'm not, I'm completely sane of mind, after, and then followed on with saying, if you saw half the things I've been briefed on and what I've seen physically, it would keep most people up at night. Just let that sink in for a minute. This is coming from Senator Burchett.
Welcome to my life. Welcome to my entire existence, what this man just said. I don't know how I was born into the most niche areas, a Judeo-Christian Masonic cult with presidential bloodline and Freemason bloodline. Like, I don't know how this happened to me, but what he just said, it has been my entire existence. Literally going like, what the fuck?
Who's been championing this stuff for a while now. Obviously, Burleson's taken the torch for a little bit, but these guys are all trying to get to the bottom of this, and apparently the Trump administration has been briefed. But again, it's that same question of they don't know who to ask the right questions to because it's so compartmentalized. Okay, so just bear with me. So again, multiple figures linked to aerospace, advanced propulsion. This is to do with the missing people. Plasma science, military programs. Reported cases include a retired Air Force general disappearing from home. I've done a video on that. A NASA engineer vanishing while hiking. Done a video on that too. A plasma science director murdered. I haven't done a video on that. And an astrophysicist murdered as well, of which you saw the guy with the beard.
There was another guy that went missing. If you go to the Law and Crime Network, there's a 5-star Air Force general that just went missing. He left his phone behind. I think he got abducted. And he was involved with this alien stuff. This is on mainstream TV. Guys, gotta look it up. They are about to introduce us to something that is not from here, I'm telling you. That's what's about to happen.
That's been all over social media and the news.
They're cleaning up. They're rounding up anybody that's going to challenge the narrative that is agreed upon between us and our governments and the intergalactic governments. Like, they're going around and getting rid of the people that are going to cause problems for whatever their plans are. I mean, what a time to be alive. What a fucking time to be alive. And if I get to be blessed to see Armageddon go down, I will die a happy woman. I will die a fucking happy woman. And actually, that almost is making me cry. Because if I don't get to see that, then what the fuck has my life been for? What has it been for? My life has been the ultimate battle against wickedness, darkness. I've been put around so much of Satan. So if I don't get to see that, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm throwing the towel in. I think it's going to happen. I used to not believe it was going to happen. I'm telling you, me 7 years ago, I thought a lot of what was in the Bible was still just myth. And I didn't think anyone was coming to save us. And I didn't think fucking whatever that shit is. I'm like, that's just never going to happen. It would have been done already because we've met the qualifiers, which I had to grow and mature and realize just because the qualifiers are met. Yes, I can see the qualifiers are met. All the qualifiers for Armageddon that the Bible lays out to begin have been met. The problem is going back to that concept of time. Our concept of time is we go through life faster than the eternal beings or the very high dimensional beings. So it could be very much around the corner for them, but still, 40 years away for us, or 400. Who knows?
Random events, guys. These guys are obviously on these special access programs. I think combined.
Right. All this came out the day before Artemis 2 goes up to visit the moon. Ryan just said that. I can't believe I didn't even realize that. Just because I'm not good with dates and times. But yeah, that's true. All this happened, and now we're going back to the moon. And there was something, I watched the whole NASA broadcast. They go, well, you never know what's going to happen when we're up there. We're going to get up there and we might explore space more. We might land on the moon. We might just go around it. We might just go around the Earth a few times. I don't know. We're just going to see what happens and see where it takes us. So I was like, what? That's pretty relaxed to be going into space, bruh. You don't have a plan? I mean, we have a plan, but we're open. We're open to changing the plan. If we don't find a parking spot on the moon, we might be open to seeing, what else there is to do up there. So with that timing, maybe they really are trying to prepare us to meet something and not have mass hysteria.
You have an engineer, an Air Force general, a plasma science director, and an astrophysicist. And allegedly, they were working on advanced propulsion, amongst other things as well.
While he's talking, let me see if I can find
this is just getting silly at this point. I mean, I'm pretty damn sure it's anti-gravitic tech, because that's the next best thing. We've obviously gotten away around this, the universal speed limit of being the speed of light. There's obviously a workaround. There's clearly a workaround here, of which they are not divulging to the general public, or no scientists that are in the commercial space know about this unless they're working on some of these SAPs. So again, the connection here is that Common Link has all worked on advanced space or defense-related fields. Burchett's position, there is no coincidences here. He says people connected to these areas are dying or disappearing.
Okay, so while he's saying that, let me show you. All right, so a month ago, Air Force General linked to UFO research disappears. This is what I saw yesterday. Let me get the volume working.
Trace, a man once tied to UFO research, and just days after President Donald Trump ordered the release of government UFO files, and now comments from Hillary Clinton in her Epstein deposition are adding a new twist. This is raising all kinds of questions about, aliens. Do they exist? And where is this general? We're going to break it all down with a private investigator, help us unpack what may really be going on here. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Okay, watch this.
Investigation into identified flying objects. And then what happened? Hillary Clinton did this, but we have to mention, okay? 8 days before McCaslin vanished, President Donald Trump posted this message on Truth Social. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government...
Did you hear that? 8 days.
...files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects. And then what happened? Hillary Clinton, right, the former Secretary of State, former First Lady, sat for a deposition in the House GOP's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Remember, we talked about this. We covered it on Sidebar, the House Oversight Committee. Now, the questioning wasn't about UFOs, but that topic did briefly come up. Listen to this.
When your husband was president, it was Lawrence Rockefeller had an effort to try to disclose UFOs, UAPs. When you were running for president, John Podesta publicly stated that
Did you guys wonder why the hell they were asking about UFOs in the deposition about Epstein? Because I certainly fucking did. And then when Hillary came out after it was done, remember, we didn't get to see the video yet, but she came out and she's like, I don't know why they were asking me about UFOs. I forgot she said that. Then I go and watch her deposition and I'm like, why the fuck are they asking about that? And then I remembered she was even like, what is happening?
you would disclose these files if given the chance, if you had been president. Are you pleased to see that these files may be disclosed finally?
I am pleased. As I say, I think.
So you heard a name there, John Podesta.
All right. Now, she said she was pleased. Okay. Because whatever plans, have you guys watched American Horror Story? Did you guys see the Aliens season where the government, the aliens were literally they were getting technology from the aliens. One thing in Freemasonry that you learn, okay, because there are different sects of Freemasonry, just like there are different sects of Christianity. Well, there's a certain sect that when you see the protractor or the compass and protractor, the compass symbol or whatever, there's a reason why that's there. The alien aspect in Freemasonry, if you ever played Assassin's Creed, you'll know what I'm talking about. The Masons exchange souls for technology. They exchange human souls to the alien god that runs this world in exchange for alien technology. That is the big secret. I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, or at least have somebody ask me come around, because last time I did this, that's what happened. But she's probably glad because now, you know, we can like move a little freer, right? Here's what Google AI is saying about the guy. His name is William Neal McCaslin. He was 68, been missing since February 27th. I heard his wife's 911 call yesterday. I thought the 911 call was weird. It sounds like she knows more than she's willing to say. It sounds like her calling 911 was part of the plan because they knew it would get released to the media. Let me pull up that for you, actually. I want you to hear it because it's odd. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go here, go back, and then I think it's this one.
My husband is missing.
Tonight, new audio from the wife of a retired Air Force general gone missing in New Mexico.
I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found.
That's William McCaslin's wife, Susan, during the call to authorities on February 27th, the day her husband disappeared. The call was first obtained by Law and Crime and later verified to NBC News by the Sheriff's Department.
He's left his phone, he changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot.
McCaslin's disappearance generated a lot of speculation due to his past career as a high-ranking military general. McCaslin was retired, but at one point worked inside an Air Force base in Ohio, long rumored to house extraterrestrial debris, despite repeated Air Force denials. Following his disappearance, authorities confirmed only a few items were missing, including a .38 caliber revolver, adding McCaslin had stated he was experiencing mental fog. His wife telling this to the dispatcher.
Other than saying if his brain and body keep deteriorating, he didn't want to live like that. But it seemed to me that was just a man, I hate how this is going kind of thing.
What a weird thing to freaking say. What in the hell? That is such a weird thing to say. That is like, we need you to call dispatch 911 and we need you to say this. This is like watching Tyler Robinson stuff, Charlie Kirk stuff. This is like, if you're good at noticing patterns, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm sorry, my show might be a little high level, but I'm past explaining stuff. So if you don't fucking understand, just do your research, please, because I just can't afford right now to go back and explain stupid shit. So, sorry. I know I'm like, I got a sailor's mouth and I really don't fucking care. So anyway, but the circumstances of his disappearance. So, well, hold on, let's back up. So they're saying that the FBI is assisting the sheriff's office in the investigation. One, that's weird to me. Why is the sheriff's office leading the investigation? Why is not a higher agency, federal agency leading the investigation if this is a 5-star general in the Air Force? I recognize his face. I have seen him on the Hill. This is nobody to be taken lightly, right? So you got the sheriff's office in charge of this. Weird. With assistance from the FBI. Okay. And they got personnel from the Kirtland Air Force Base. They have issued the silver alert saying he's got mental fog, highly capable, and the most intelligent person in the room at the time he vanished. How can you have mental fog and also say we consider him highly capable and the most intelligent person in the room? What does that mean? How can you be both? This doesn't sound right. This sounds like more narrative. This sounds like he was snatched by the government and we're getting a narrative. They said that they found a sweatshirt a mile and a quarter east of his house, and there was no blood on it that they found initially so far. They searched his second home. Seems like he left all his hiking gear. So clearly he's not like just saying fuck it all and like disappearing into the woods, because he would have taken his hiking boots, the things that they found that you would need if you were just gonna like try to disappear and go off grid, which is highly likely if he is a 5-star general and is involved in, non-Earth intel and alien stuff. Like, I'm sure that people consider that in that field because of the things they know and probably the fears that they live under. It says that the circumstances were that he was last seen at his home around 10 a.m. on February 27th. His wife came home around noon to find him gone. She was at a doctor's appointment, but that she says he reportedly left on foot. Well, how do you know that? How do you know he left on foot? They have no cameras in the house, she said in her 911 call. I heard the whole thing. I encourage you to do it. But she said that he left without his cell phone, prescription glasses, or wearable devices. But in the phone call to dispatch, she said she doesn't know if he left his Apple Watch. So maybe they couldn't find the Apple Watch. I don't know. Among the missing items, they say his wallet, a .38 caliber revolver with a leather holster, a red backpack, and his hiking boots are missing from the home. If you're saying, fuck it all, I'm sick and I want to die, not go off grid, what do you need your holster for? You don't need your holster because you're going to kill yourself. Like, what's the holster for? You're not thinking about your holster. You're just grabbing the gun and carrying it to wherever you're going, because it's just going to drop from wherever you're at. That's like, so the holster is missing. So there's a gun that was needed by someone, but I don't know how they know he left on foot if she wasn't home. The wife says on the 911 call she initially feared he may have planned not to be found. Who says that? How do you know that? Only people who make claims like that either have something to do with it or they're an accomplice to something. Because why would you say that? How do you know that? If you planned on not being found, you would tell your wife, and your wife's not going to call 911 and fucking out you and say you planned not to be found. But if you plan not to be found, of course you're not going to tell your wife. But how would your wife know that? You wouldn't give any indication whatsoever for several days preceding that because you don't want to be found. You don't want anyone to be suspicious. So how do you know that? And why are you saying something that ridiculous? That's the most glaring thing to me so far as to why I think I agree with this TikToker that something is going on while they've got us distracted with Iran. Something is going on with the alien shit. I'm telling you. So it says his UFO UAP connection. So while investigators maintain there is no direct evidence linking his disappearance to UFO research, several factors have fueled public speculation. WikiLeaks mentions McCaslin was named in a 2016 WikiLeaks email as a key advisor to Tom DeLonge to the Stars Academy, specifically regarding Roswell wreckage. Timing, he vanished just days after President Trump announced plans to declassify federal records related to UFOs, and the professional ties observers have noted that Monica Reza, a rocket scientist whose research was funded by McCaslin's lab, also disappeared under similar circumstances while hiking in June 2025 and has not been found. What you think, friends? Do you agree with this TikToker? I think they're distracting us with Iran because something else is going on that's way more freaky. Way more freaky. And you better have the eyeballs for it, because you might literally get scared out your pants. Stay calm, because you know. You don't know, no. We don't know. What does Candace say? We don't know. Well, we don't know, no, but we know.
Guys, it is what it is. I need to be careful now what I'm saying. I am just regurgitating what's been said already. That is already out in the general public. I'm just regurgitating what's been said. I do not know this
I lived near Dobbins Air Force Base for a while in Atlanta.
personally, just to clear myself here, okay? The claims here is the government is withholding critical information. Even high-level officials face restricted access. And again, Burchett said that the president is on a need-to-know basis when it comes to this stuff. Again, unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. We're all adult enough to understand that we're not alone. You don't have to tell us everything.
It's a
but you can
mathematical improbability that we are the only ones in the universe, the only biotic humanoid beings in the universe. It's statistically impossible.
Say that we are dealing with something that's not from here, at the very least. I think now it's getting a bit silly. And again, these people are so adamant that they need to keep a lid on this, and I don't understand why they're so adamant about not allowing us to know. I think it's probably because it will have a black swan event, but also I think it will shake up about who we are, where we've come from, and if there's been some sort of interference. The more I look into this, the more I think that I don't think we are just a result of natural evolution. And the more you look into this, the more you realize, hang on a minute, there's some fuckery afoot here. This doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That's my own personal opinion, of which I shouldn't really be giving, as I'm meant to be a non-biased sort of reporter on these things as an amateur researcher. But anyway, here we go. Burchett says what he's seen in briefings would keep you up at night. That's what he said. He claims one briefing would have set the country on fire, links both topics by saying people with knowledge are disappearing and the truth is being covered up. Again, guys, this is not old. This is not new news. Again, people are now going missing that have been, in the public spotlight in some way or another. All of these people that have gone missing recently that have been associated with. Apparently, this general was involved in divulging the truth during disclosure when Trump made that comment on Truth Social, and then handed it over to Pete Hegseth to basically then hand it over to Arrow, which was a terrible move because they were just, as far as I'm concerned, they need to be defunded and removed immediately because they are a counterintelligence operation. But it is.
All right, before we continue with that video, I need to bring you a message from our friends at Chicago Steak Company. Today's sponsor is Chicago Steak Company, and they're giving away 8 free steak burgers on every order. Code 8burgers. Think about the last time you bought burgers at the grocery store. You stood there staring at a wall of plastic wrapped ground beef, trying to figure out which one isn't going to turn into a hockey puck on the grill. Maybe you grabbed the expensive organic pack. Maybe you went cheap. Either way, you got home, fired up the grill, and watched them shrink to half their size, dry in the middle, falling apart through the grates. Chicago Steak Company figured out a better way. They make half-pound steak burgers from USDA prime beef, hand-formed from premium cuts, and ship them straight to your door on dry ice. They hold together on the grill, stay juicy, and actually taste like steak. Here's the deal. Spend $189 or more on any steaks you want. Use code 8burgers, and they add 8 free steak burgers plus a bottle of steak seasoning plus free shipping to your order. That's $200 in free extras on top of whatever you ordered. They have 15,000 5-star reviews. These people really know what they're doing. Go to mychicagosteak.com/rumble. Code 8burgers. Link in the description. Get them before they're gone. All right. You have to learn to have fun with the ads.
It is what it is. I think this is fascinating information. I think we need to stay frosty. I think we need to stay on top of this now. This is probably the biggest news I've had in a few months. And the fact that we've got people going missing, combined with Burchett and Congressman Matt Gaetz, both saying similar things, going, we've been briefed. There's alien hybrid facilities now. Really?
Right.
Really? And we're going to sit here and just carry...
They're in Antarctica. Like, we know. We fucking know. We've been known. If you freaking have been researching anything, you know exactly where they are. They're in fucking Antarctica. The big old fucking giant hole they're trying to hide. We know. We done figured this out a long time ago because people have a conscience. Ugh.
Carry on with our day as normal. Wow. Unbelievable times, guys. Unreal times. Anyway, leave your comments in the box below. You heard it first from DK, and I'll speak to you on it.
Brother, what a time to be alive, my friend. What a time to be alive. I am here for it. And on that note, Iran's open letter to the U.S. Let's see how this goes.
The Iranian president penned an open letter to the people of the United States, titling it, "In the Name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful." Let's read what he wrote, because it's pretty powerful and we all need to hear it. To the people of the United States of America, and to all those who amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life. Iran, by the very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination, even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers. And despite possessing military superiority...
You need to hear pounded into your head every fucking new president we get, Bibi Netanyahu, saying, Iran is such a threat! Iran is a threat! Iran is a threat! Iran is a threat! Honestly... we got bigger problems in Iran, and it's coming from the Western Hemisphere. I'm sorry. Well, and Israel. I said it.
Over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war. Yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a
This is really interesting. Now that I'm really realizing what this is, I gotta back this up, guys. I apologize because this is a long video. It's a 6-minute video, but I think this is important for us to really digest this. So if you're not really paying attention, I want you to like pause in the chat and really listen to this letter the Iranian president wrote to the United States of America, to the people of the United States, not even to the president. It wasn't to President Trump. This is to us. So I think that means we all need to stop what we're doing and pay attention to this letter. So let me see if I could pull it up on the browser in and let it pull it up in written form. Please give me the Iranian president's open letter to the USA in a transcript, because I want to also compare if this guy is, got it right. Here's a transcript of the open letter released by Iranian President Mossad. I'm not even going to attempt to say that. Pezeshkian, I don't know. On April 1st, addressed. Okay, on April 1st. Does he know that the American holiday on April 1st is April Fool's? Now that's in my head before we read this. Why is that in my head now before we read this? So I'm just going to pull this up and release an open letter. Hold on. Okay, so it's on Bloomberg. Hopefully they don't make me pay, hopefully you don't have to pay. Get unlimited. You do. I don't want to pay for fucking Bloomberg. Can you write it out for me? Because I don't want to pay a sub for Bloomberg. This is how you have to have fun sometimes when you're talking to AI, right? Just see how it reacts to you. But this is the Google AI, so I just fuck around on it. I don't really take it serious. Where is it? Give it to me. Read the full text at Palestine Chronicle. Okay, maybe that's let's see. A direct appeal challenging a full text of the letter. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Yes. All right. I'm going to play this video while you guys read it on the browser, but I'm going to pull it up so you can read it on the browser. All right. Here we go. I'm going to back this up.
The Iranian president penned an open letter to the people of the United States, titling it, "In the Name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful." Let's read what he wrote, because it's pretty powerful and we all need to hear it. To the people of the United States of America, and to all those who amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life. Iran, by the very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination. Even at
Hold on. Where are we at? Okay, there it is. All right. So we're here. Right here. This is where we are.
After enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers, and despite possessing military superiority over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war. Yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present-day observable facts. Such a perception is the product of political and economic whims of the powerful. The need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic narratives. In such an environment...
Whoa. They are fucking nailing it. They read the Israeli narrative like a book, and they're directly responding to the claims Iran, because it's always been Israel coming to Iran, coming to America saying Iran's a problem. We've never had a problem with Iran. It's always Israel saying so. A couple nights ago, we listened to that hot mic conversation between, I think it was Billy, the preacher, Graham, and Nixon. They are literally talking to America, being like, yo, Israel is literally fucking with you. Iran, by its very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. I literally just went over this on my Human Origins series. I brought it up on Froggy's podcast. When he had a kind of an open mic night, I said this, like, don't take them lightly. This is an ancient civilization that is still in power. This is a dynasty. Like, it's been the literal, like, it's, the family name has been there fucking forever, man, in power. It says, despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never in its modern history, so saying since we have reformed, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination. We are not looking to be a superpower. Now let's see what they say about nukes anyway. So let's go back. Where are we at? For this reason, there is a threat within.
If a threat does not exist, it is invented. Within this same...
All right, if a threat does not exist, it is invented. Where is it? You know what? Invented. How do you spell invented? Invented. Ah, shit. What's going on? An ad? Go away. Where'd it go? If a threat is not consistent. Shit. Damn it. I lost my place. I hate when this happens. I think right here. It's somewhere right here. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Y'all, sometimes my brain is like fried.
Framework, the United States has concentrated the largest number of its forces, bases, and military capabilities around Iran, a country that, at least since the founding of the United States, 250 years, has never initiated a war. Recent American aggressions launched from these very bases have demonstrated how threatening such a military presence truly is. Naturally, no country confronted with such conditions would forego strengthening its defensive capabilities. What Iran has done and continues to do is a measured response grounded in legitimate self-defense and by no means an initiation of war or aggression on the lives of the resilient Iranian people must not be underestimated.
Yeah, but like, what about all your murders I think that's the part they're not going to address. Like, they murder people for protesting, and it's like these people want to be freed from that. They want, when you don't have free speech, you are not free. But that doesn't negate anything I said before. Like, it's incredibly smart of them to point at Israel the way they're doing it. You call out the problem where you know there's a problem. I mean, it just kind of makes sense to me what they're saying. I don't think this is a bad decision if I'm thinking like the Iranians to put out this letter, to be honest. But I like to play devil's advocate because it's the psychologist in me. I have to understand who I'm interacting with. I have to.
The continuation of military aggression and recent bombings profoundly affects people's lives, attitudes, and perspectives. This reflects a fundamental human truth. When war inflicts irreparable harm on lives, homes, cities, and futures, people will not remain indifferent towards those responsible. This raises a fundamental question. Exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any...
Where are we? Why does this keep happening to me? Very interesting.
Objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country back
Here we go.
to the Stone Ages serve any purpose other than further damaging the United States' global standing?
Whoa. Hold on. This raises a fundamental question. Exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Okay. Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment, pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country back to the Stone Ages serve? Ooh-wee. You know that's what Israel's doing. All that stuff they're describing, that's what Israel's doing to them. The same thing Israel did to Gaza. Like I said, biblical style war. They're just bombing everything. It's fucking sad, man. It's sad. You know, because obviously their religion is why they stone women for adultery, but that doesn't mean that they're not providing cancer treatment. Their requirement in their country as a religious nation, a nation that is like, so Korea is one of those nations like where they like say that they're divine and they're given the throne by God, you know? So all they require is you follow the religion, and whatever the religion's rules are is the nation's laws. Those are the only laws, whatever the religious rules are. So that doesn't mean that these people are not experiencing other aspects of normal life. And that's what they're citing right here. However, the only Iranians we've heard from are American Iranians, because Iranians that are over there can't really get their message out. So the American Iranians are like happy about this, but how do we know the American Iranians aren't brainwashed by Marxist agendas? I don't know what's going on, you know? So that's why I explore everything, and I'm finding this letter pretty interesting.
Iran pursued negotiations, reached an agreement, and fulfilled all its commitments. The decision to withdraw from that agreement, escalate towards confrontation, and launch 2 acts of aggression in the midst of the negotiations were destructive choices made by the U.S. government, choices that served the delusions of a foreign aggressor.
Trump made a comment. He's like, we were in negotiations and they just want to act like crazy lunatics, so we decided to act first. If they're making the claim, they're basically saying, no, we weren't thinking that. We were trying to negotiate. What do you mean we were gonna bomb you first? That's basically what they're saying right there. I'm not saying I believe them or not, just reading and listening.
Attacking Iran's vital infrastructure, including energy and industrial facilities, directly targets the Iranian people. Beyond constituting a war crime, such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. They generate instability, increase human...
Man, we're getting blamed for the shit Israel's doing, y'all. I don't like this shit.
Economic costs, and perpetrate cycles of tension, planting seeds of resentment that will endure for years. This is not a demonstration of strength. It is a sign of strategic bewilderment and an inability to achieve a sustainable solution. Is it not also the case that America has entered this aggression as a proxy for Israel, influenced and manipulated by that regime? Is it not true that Israel, by
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Oh, man. You got played, Trump. Bibi Netanyahu and his little bloodline. You got played. I still love you, boy, but you got played, man. You got played because you know they're going to shoot your ass again, and that will be a horrible thing. And I understand, like, the survival instinct, because I really feel like that's what it was. I feel like that shot on Trump was actually Israel. I really, truly do. You know, if you're not going to comply, because remember, he was saying before they tried to assassinate Trump, Trump was saying no war with Iran. Remember? That's the same thing Charlie Kirk was saying. You guys see the patterns. You just don't know you're seeing them. I mean, God, what a time to be alive. What the fuck? Wow. This is interesting. This is getting interesting. Are you guys listening? I hope y'all are listening. I really do.
Factoring an Iranian threat seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes towards the Palestinians.
Oh, shit.
Is it not evident that Israel now aims to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American taxpayer dollar, shifting the burden of its delusions onto Iran, the region, and the United States itself in pursuit of illegitimate interests?
Wow.
Is America first truly among the priorities of the U.S. government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation, an integral part of this aggression, and instead speak with those who have visited Iran. Observe the many accomplished Iranian immigrants educated in Iran who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you are being told about Iran and its people? Today, the world stands at a crossroad. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more
Today, the world stands At a crossroads. Wow. As so it goes. The prophet, few prophets, they talked about the day, Prophet Daniel was one of them, talked about the day that all of the nations would attack Israel. I could see about 5 of you. It was too much to digest. And the rest of you are letting that sink in because y'all are quiet. All right, let's keep going.
And futile than ever before.
Right
the choice between confronting advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you are being told about Iran and its people? Today, the world stands at a crossroad. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. The choice between confrontation and engagement is both real and consequential. Its outcome will shape the future for generations to come. Throughout this millennia of proud history, Iran has outlasted many aggressors. All that remains of them are tarnished names in history, while Iran endures, resilient, dignified, and proud. This is a
I wouldn't be joining the military right now. I could tell you that. I don't think the point, Jack, was about Islam. I think the point was, excuse me, we are not out here trying to cause any problems. We're not interested in expansion. We're not interested. So, like, why would we have a need for, like, you guys are, Israel is pushing a narrative and you're being its lapdog and you're making a bad decision because this is going to change. This is like, I see the letter for what it is. I don't think it's a religious letter. I think this is a very strong, I actually agree with the letter. Don't agree with the religion, but I agree with the letter. I agree with the letter. And I think they're being very wise because they know how bad this can get. Because it doesn't matter to me about your beliefs. What really does define you as the good guy? What does define you as the good guy? Is it religion, really? Religion is a construct of human beings. Spirituality is what determines whether you're a good being. You can squabble all day long on which religion's right and which one's wrong and this, that, and the other, but there is a universal code of morals that is buried in every sentient being. We all, from animal to human, understand right and wrong. We get it. Without being taught, we have a propensity to show love and protect our resources and those we love. That is all what life is. Then you have the construct of the matrix that brings in not only politics, but also religion. I don't care about your religion. What determines to me whether you're a good person or a bad person is, are you putting the good of others first when it comes, like, every situation is different. But what is the loving thing to do in this situation? I may have the right to sue someone, but I might know that it's going to wreck their entire life and put them in poverty. And I may choose not to sue them because the greater good, the loving thing to do, even though I was in the right, was not to sue them. To me, that is what determines whether you're a good person or not. You may be righteous, and you may be in the right, and you may be lawful in anything that you do, and you may be spotless in that manner. But what does what you do to people cause down the chain? Is it really the good thing to do? And it's very different what is good and what is righteous. Because what is righteous just means what is right by law. So, the letter, putting aside like my personal feelings spiritually and religiously, I kind of admire the letter. It was a moment of like, I felt like that's me talking on my show being like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? If it doesn't make sense to half your voter base, are you surprised to hear a letter like this? Because even those of us who support Trump are like sitting here like, why are you doing this? Yeah.
Drastically different letter than what we're going to hear from Donald Trump in just about an hour's time as he takes to the national airwaves in the United States to update us on Iran.
I listened to it and it was just war. We're decimating them. And he's just bragging about it. And I'm just like, bro, put the bragging away when it comes to war. Like, it's solemn. I'm sorry. We maybe, like, goes back to that right thing versus what is good. You might be in the right to do something ugly, but let's not make jokes about it and let's not brag about it because it's ugly.
Is what true leadership looks like from a foreign country that we're supposedly at war with. He's pinning a letter to the United States, inviting us to reject what our government is doing to his people.
I'm definitely a warrior for peace, but I'll go around pounding town if I need to too. Put a cross on my back, pray to the Lord, and take care of the trash that needs to be taken care of. If it was my duty. I don't go around looking for it, but I respond to duty is what I'm saying.
In the name of a foreign country that is controlling our leaders.
Mm-hmm.
This is what measured leadership, true leadership, looks and sounds like.
That's why they're a dynasty.
Not Donald Trump. The Iranian president.
Trump is really gloating in it though, like, and people worship him, and he like, didn't you listen to Jesus when he said like only worship the Father? Like, idolizing sports people, politicians, actors, models, rock stars, like that's what real idolism is. Idolism is. It's not having a cross or your little symbols and trinkets. That's not real idolism. Idolism is when you're worshiping something. You're not using it as a tool for spirituality. So leave her and her crystals alone. It's people that worship the golden calf that are the problem. And I'm telling you, when they go and touch that wall over there, it's like something sucks their soul out and replaces it with something else, and they just do Israel's bidding. Anyway. 1990s hairstyles. Part 1.
Let's keep going through this hairstyling book from 1999. John and Kate plus hate crime.
I've seen, that was in my, I've been a hairdresser for a really long time. I've seen all these. They were in my books. Oh my God. And I've done so many of these. I already know I'm going to be so embarrassed.
Verbally abusive dog groomer who thrives on a culture of intimidation. It was a different time. This gal's been on hold with Kaiser Permanente for the past 11 and a half hours. And yeah, I would say the psychosis is starting.
She's the girl from the movie The Jerk who was like aggressively telling Steve Martin to have sex with her. That's her. She was like angry about everything. You fuck me now. That's her.
To set in. Sally Bowles, if she had worked at Cece's Pizza. This lady just called the cops on her next door neighbors because their wind chimes were, in her words, too loud and ethnic sounding. You know what? I'm actually into a little contour sideburn. Church secretary who was just accused of stealing $40,000 to fund her Carnival Cruise addiction. Like a rare sighting of the depressive pixie dream girl. This guy.
That girl was heroin chic, man. She looked like she
pixie
about
dream
to
girl.
be twacked.
This guy says he's 21 on all of his dating profiles. So.
He looks like Lyle Lovett or whoever played the Green Goblin.
That's tough. Honestly, T.
Okay, cute haircut though. Ew. Oh God. Ew. Ew. This is like I want to be the Cranberries.
If you told me this lady was 3 inches tall and lived inside of a tulip, I would go ahead and believe you. Okay, I know this is kind of controversial, but I kind of like when the mother or the bride relapses, you know? It keeps the wedding exciting. Let's keep going through this hairstyling book from 1999. John and Kate plus hate crime.
Look, John and Kate plus hate crime. I know this is not funny to any of you dudes out here because y'all probably don't get it at all, but I'm a hairdresser and this shit is hysterical for me. All right, let's see what part 2 is. Scared.
Let's go through this men's hairstyling book.
Men's, of course, and look at the cover already. Ooh, look at this guy down here in the bottom left. Sultry. Oh, he's the bad boy.
From 1990. Adult film parody Rick Moranis. If He-Man got a job at H&R Block. Chain-smoking
No, that's like total serial killer.
Chain-smoking Taekwondo instructor who still lives at...
That's the Lord Farquaad
if He-Man got a job
right there, man. That's like my mom still messes with my wee. My mom still wants me to be a little boy. Sorry, y'all, man. No kids allowed on this show. Sometimes.
At H&R Block. Chain-smoking Taekwondo instructor who still lives at home with his mother. Fire Island Gaston. This guy's investment portfolio consists of a stack of scratchers and $30 in camel cash. If the poster for Dumb and Dumber was shot by Herb Ritz for Italian Vogue, this guy keeps cold cuts in his wallet,
or Freddie
just in
Mercury
case of emergency. Listen, just because his haircut is versatile doesn't mean that he is, okay? This guy is strictly a bottom. It's very Susie Orman, but I'm not mad at it. Even Siegfried and Roy would be like, girl, tone it down.
Right?
It's too much. Yes, Robert Smith, if he went to Burning Man and bumped up his SSRIs. It's kind of giving like Madame Morrible, no? Professional pickup artist who's never been on a second date. Somebody tell me why they had to bump the ends, you know?
No, it's another one. My mama touched
But it's okay. Let's go through this men's hairstyling book from
in the
1990.
end was mad as fuck. Look at his face. Hold on.
But it's okay.
Look, he's like, y'all got me looking stupid as shit. Why in the fuck? That's how I felt at my cousin's wedding. I look like one of those dinosaurs that bump heads. He mad. Look at his face. He mad as shit. He's so mad. Look at his concealer, though. You can see his concealer. Oh, my God. These poor boys. Ooh, and you know, all of them getting trafficked by Epstein. We're going to find in the Epstein files that the hairstyle photo book was part of Epstein's catalog. Oh, Luna, calm down. All right, next video. So embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my
God. It just gets funnier each time you watch it. Poor guy. Now you on the internet. Man, you can't even live your life no more. You can't just be a human being without it going all over the internet. This is terrible, man. I am laughing at this guy. I'm sorry, bro. If you ever see me laughing at you, it is funny, man. You a guy though, so you understand that it's funny. It's probably fine. All right. If Americans knew, here we go. That comment the other dude made. They'd be up all night. I'm scared.
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
So wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night.
Uh-huh. Now do you understand what demons are?
Worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it.
Ooh, man, this shit is getting hot, man. Turkey is about to overcook. Oh my God. What is happening? Y'all, this is so fucking wild. You're not going to be able to know the difference between aliens, angels, and demons when it all goes down. What if those chariots they talk about in the Bible are actually spaceships? Ooh. Maybe the answer has been what Jesus has been saying the whole time. The kingdom of God is within the heart. It's in the soul. It's a consciousness. It's a infinity. You have to integrate with it. That's what you're doing. It's not a place. It's not a... We think of so many things in human terms because we're locked into this like 3D world. But like, what if the chariots in the sky were actually aliens? Screwing with our concept of what God is, my friends. And that's why one of the Trinity had to possess a human named Yeshua and come down and give us a clue and take on all of our wickedness and die so his two brothers up there could resurrect him, bring him back for a job well done. You know, I think if you're going to choose a human to possess, you're going to be very, very particular about that bloodline. So when you actually study that bloodline, the Davidic bloodline and all that, and Adam, and you actually read the holy books that existed before the Bible and do your research on the holy books that the Vatican doesn't put into print in the Bible, you'll start to realize there's definitely a bloodline tied to Adam and Jesus that is not from this planet. It's from another one. So there's definitely some advantages that they wanted to give us for sure, I think. And that was the whole war politically in the heavens was, what the fuck? Why are you making these humans more capable? What are you doing? Why are you trying to save them? I'm going to make you look like the bad guy because I'm really the bad guy. So I'm going to make them think it's you. You know, I'm going to commit all these mass murders. But you, the one who's trying to like clue them in, I'm going to make you the bad guy. Another win for democracy.
Trump's executive order for birthright citizenship just got blocked. Another win for democracy. Yeah, I saw that. Did you actually read what the judge said? Yeah, he filed a class action lawsuit or whatever and issued a nationwide injunction. What about it? You mean the part where he granted legal status to the unborn? He did what? The judge certified a class of all current and future persons. That means unborn children now have legal standing under the federal court. Nope, that's not what he meant. Oh, I'm pretty sure he did. He wanted to block Trump so badly, he just accidentally handed the pro-life movement exactly what they've been asking for. But we're pro-choice. We don't do fetus rights. That's your thing, right? But now, thanks to your side, unborn babies have legal status, which means lawsuits can now be filed on their behalf.
Yep.
This is insane. What about immigration?
When I was running for office, I called this out. It got like 20,000 freaking views or something. It was my first viral thing. I was like, no, it wasn't when I was running for office. It was when I first started the show. I was like, so you're now trying... I have a video saying this. I'm like, you're saying infants in the womb have immigration rights, but they also have no right to life? What? Yeah. Yep.
In trying to protect birthright citizenship, your radical left judge just told the people in the court, hey, future people in the womb, you count too.
I have a much shorter video saying the same thing.
Yeah, I know, my body, my choice, until suddenly it's legally somebody else's body too. This is all Trump's fault. Crazy, sometimes you go so far left, you end up right.
Facts. She's great. I love her. All right, first and last drink.
Johnny, this is my first drink.
Johnny was then lost for 3 hours when found outside the wedding venue.
I'm the cousin of the bride, and this is my first drink of the night. Hi, I'm the bride, and this is my first drink.
Yeah, girl, get it.
And this is my first drink of the night.
Hi, my
name is Hi, I'm Igor, and this is my 24th drink.
Hi, my name is Stuart, and this is my first drink.
Son of a 15 bottle of wine! I'm Lucas, this is my first drink.
My name is Lisa, and this is my first drink of wine. My name is Lisa as well as
She's about to spill the shit.
And your name is? Thanks.
It's the last drink of the night.
I'm Justin, and this is my first drink of the night.
This is Justin, and this is my last drink of the night.
Hey all, this is Darren. This is my first drink of the night. I'm Darren. This is my 23rd drink.
Johnny, this is my first drink.
Hilarious. I wish I could do that, but I don't live those days anymore. Anyway, back to serious shit. Why Trump fired Bondi.
We just learned why President Trump fired Pam Bondi. Trump makes it official, and now we know what got her fired, and it's worse than you thought, actually. It's pretty bad, in fact, and it shocks me, quite frankly. Trump fires Pam Bondi after tumultuous year of Epstein Files fumbles and MAGA base anger at her White House showdown. Okay, let's go to President Trump making it official. Then we're going to rip through some of the rumor mill stuff about what's actually happening behind the scenes. Pam Bondi is a great American patriot, says Trump, loyal friend. Remember, she was his personal attorney, right? So faithfully served as Attorney General the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing the massive crackdown.
This is about the Chinese spy. I'm just like, what do you expect? Because, that's the least of my concerns right now. Not that it's not really bad. I think Break the Machine didn't understand why I said what I said. I was just like, I don't know. So it's the least of my concerns right now. They were like, what? It doesn't bother you that bad? I'm like, have you seen what's going on? What else is happening right now? We're about to have the chariots come out of the sky.
Crime across the country. Murders plummeting to the lowest level since 1900. We love Pam. She'll be transitioning to a much-needed, more important job in the private sector. To be announced at a date in the near future, our Deputy Attorney General, very talented, legal mind Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General. Thank you for your attention. This matters. A couple things here. People are saying that Pam Bondi is staying in the administration. No, this says that she'll be leaving. She's going to the private sector. So there we go. And then other people are saying that Lee Zeldin will get the job, is going to Todd Blanche. This is Donald Trump's personal attorney. Todd Blanche was the attorney that Trump had through many of his trials and deep state trials and witch hunts. He's very trusted by Donald Trump. And so that's the news directly from Trump. Here's what's going on behind the scenes. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, begged for her job, late night White House showdown that happened last night. Bondi becomes the second cabinet casualty in less than a month, brought down by months of MAGA fury about her botched Jeffrey Epstein Files saga that dogged Trump's Justice Department since day one. We just learned why President Trump fired Pam Bondi.
Hang on, guys, 1 second. Luna looking extra cute today. Well, thank you, Backwater. I didn't get my energy till I sat down on a podcast. I was like, it was a grueling day to get dressed and showered and put any makeup on. Look, y'all know when I don't put lashes on, you know my ass is tired. If I don't have my lashes, y'all have such a potato face. My face is so huge. I hate my daughter is also like that. She's like, why do my cheeks have to be so fat? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, girl. It's my fault. She's like, yeah, but they're fatter than yours. And I'm just like, yours are cuter because you have dimples. Mine just looks fat and crooked because I talk crooked. So my face is aging like a banana shape. So I'm curving this way. This part dips in so hard and I don't have that over here. It's just kind of funny. We get crooked as we get older. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ugh. Y'all are being nice. Appreciate it. I need it. I'm not going to lie. I need it. didn't even have time to shower. I didn't eat today till like 9 o'clock. So it was like, I was like, you're gross. How did this happen? And take care of yourself. Yeah, it was that kind of a day. My goddad came over and he just like broke down in tears, like on his shoulders. He's the only person outside of like my, little immediate family that cares about me. And when it was time for him to leave, I was like, man, don't go. And I just started crying. Like, the fuck? I felt like 4-year-old Leah on the porch with her hands through the lattice. We didn't celebrate birthdays growing up. So my parents had like a Mickey Mouse party for me. And so parties were like a huge thing in the cult culture because like we don't get a lot of reasons to have them. So you have to just come up with reasons. And it was the first time I ever had friends over and I was 4. And my dad has me on video, like on the lattice, like, no, don't leave me. As the last car was like leaving my driveway. So I felt like little 4-year-old Luna today, just, like, don't leave me. So now I have to go watch him play baseball on Sunday because he knows I need to get out the house. And I'm like, it's hard to get me out the house, but I can't say no to him and disappoint him. So whenever he tells me to do something, it's just like, boom, I know I need to do it. And it's just what's happening. And I love him for that. But anyway, next video, why Trump fired. Oh, no, we just did that. Can't be Christian in the NBA.
So apparently in the NBA, you can support Black Lives Matter, LGBT, but openly practicing Christianity? Oh no, that's a problem. Jaden Ivey was just dropped from the Chicago Bulls because he's a Christian and he spoke out against the pride flag. Yes, the pride flag. Poof, career gone. Here's the video that got him cut.
That the world can proclaim LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month in the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month.
But you
to
can't
celebrate unrighteousness.
Right, but you can't.
They proclaim it.
Since then, his family has cut him off, including his wife, who will not return his phone calls. And here's what sports commentators are saying.
She's mad that he compromised his money. She wasn't there for you, baby. She ain't in love with you. She in love with your status. This is what Kim Kardashian tried to do to Kanye.
Yeah, first you hope that Jaden Ivey gets the professional help and counseling that he would seem to need. And Billy Donovan even referenced, it's a very delicate balance you have to strike when talking about this from the Bulls' perspective.
Professional help and counseling. Also, they've gone as far as to call him psychotic. No, not men identifying as women and wearing skirts. Not deciding whether we should chop off healthy body parts and minors. No, psychotic because he's a Christian. We're at a point where openly following your religious beliefs gets you fired. Even though,
that is cult mentality. That's what happened to me with the cult. I cannot be my own authentic self and be spiritual to God in a way that's different from my family and their religion. So they shun me. That is being in a cult. That is the number one tactic to keep you in it, by holding your family hostage. Wake up, America. You are in a cult perpetrated by the desert region. The desert cult.
First Amendment is supposed to protect us from that and all. Meanwhile, you can criticize the American flag all you want. You can burn it. But the rainbow flag, don't you dare criticize it. Canceled. Shunned from society. It almost feels like ideology has replaced religion. Nobody should lose their job for being a Christian. That's exactly what religious freedom in this country is meant for. So apparently in the NBA, you can support Black Lives Matter, LGBT, but...
All right, in the next video, Theo Vaughn said it. Sorry, that's my camera, y'all. I'm sorry.
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to, supposedly, they're trying to stop the terrorists.
That's crazy, though, if you're the fucking terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stop them, fucking stand in front of the fucking mirror and start there.
Right. Dang.
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran,
I'm glad Theo Von said it. It needs to be said. Blake Lively is fucked.
A federal judge tossed out 10 of the 13 claims in Blake Lively's lawsuit, including claims of sexual harassment against director Justin Baldoni 1 month before trial. In her civil complaint, Lively accused Baldoni of sexually harassing her during the movie's production and then orchestrating a smear campaign to retaliate against her for speaking up. Baldoni denied the allegations. Baldoni is not a defendant in the remaining 3 claims, although one claim against his production company, Wayfarer, remains. In June of last year, Baldoni's countersuit against Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds for defamation was thrown out by the same judge. In a statement to CNN, Lively's lawyers said, "This case has always been and will remain focused on the devastating retaliation and the extraordinary steps the defendants took to destroy Blake Lively's reputation because she stood up for safety on the set, and that is the case that is going to trial." Attorneys for Wayfarer said in a statement they were, quote, "very pleased the court dismissed all sexual harassment claims."
Yeah, I don't know much about this case, but I remember seeing reports that there was a lot of behind the scenes like manipulation, and this was all a stunt somehow over something. I don't remember.
And claims against individual defendants. What's left is a significantly narrowed case, and we look forward to presenting our defense to the remaining claims in court. Jury selection is set to begin in the trial May 18th. A federal judge tossed out 10 of the 13 claims.
All right. Iran shot down a U.S. jet. All right.
Okay guys, pretty crazy breaking news. For the first time since this war began, Iran have shot down an American fighter jet. And now there's this hunt from both sides for the pilots. So Iran state media released images overnight showing this supposed wreckage and this is key, an intact ejection seat, seeming to suggest that these 2 service members that were in this jet have ejected to safety. Now, if they are out there, US pilots are trained in what's called SEER for these exact circumstances, and it stands for survive, invade, resist, and escape. And they're going to need that training because while the US have launched this search and rescue operation for them, ABC News is reporting that Iran have put out a message to shoot these pilots if they were found, and a reward is being offered if they are found alive. Now, this is just essentially a race against time. Who's going to find these pilots first? The US or Iran?
God.
I'll keep you guys updated.
Can you imagine what these guys are going through right now? These guys are literally using every skill that they have ever learned to survive right now, and they're probably scared. War is no joke, man. This is what we have Americans going through for something that's not our problem. First, this is like the last, there's only 3 videos left. First photos released.
Guys, the Artemis crew just sent back their first official photos and footage from inside of the Orion spacecraft, and you need to see what Earth looks like from 100,000 miles away. This is what Earth looks like from over 100,000 miles away. The crew said that they have been completely glued to the windows ever since they first left.
Yeah, I would be too. I would be staring at it too. Could you imagine? If you guys haven't seen Interstellar, I think you should watch it.
Orbit. Now this is the part that you really need to get ready for, because for the first time ever, NASA gave the crew iPhones.
And the camera is also better than what we were flying in the sim. I'm getting very slight movements, so it's making it easier to assess opening and closing. This camera is much better than the sim.
They literally have iPhone 17 Pros on board, and there is already a video of them floating the phones around in the cabin in zero gravity. We are not going to be seeing grainy old spacecraft cameras this time. We are going to be seeing the moon trip through the same lens that we use every single day. And then there's Christina, who is now the first space plumber in history. Basically, the toilet on board broke on day 1, and she personally fixed it. NASA posted a video of her saying that she is proud to call herself the space plumber.
I'm proud to call myself the space plumber.
Shit, I would
I like
too.
to say that it is probably the most important piece of equipment on board.
So you go, Christina.
Yeah,
As of right now, they are currently cruising towards the moon and getting farther from Earth every single hour. And you need to make sure that you go ahead and follow me now, because I will be here every single day with updates until they make it home.
I forgot how they use I guess they use a recycling thing to like recycle the CO2 somehow. I don't know. I can't remember. All right. That was cool. Next video, prepare yourself.
Prepare yourselves, because this is the global headline. Russia is actively considering the use of nuclear weapons against Europe. Not against Kiev, against Europe. Specifically, the UK and Germany.
Oh my God.
Just taking out the UK and Germany with nuclear weapons. That's a fact. Now, we're going to explain why we know that that's true in a moment. And at the end of this open, we're going to play an interview we did a few hours ago with a man called Sergei Karnagov, who is a longtime political advisor to Vladimir Putin and one of the most famous public intellectuals in Russia, been around for about 35 years, advised Boris Yeltsin. Prepare yourselves, because this is the global headline.
All right, so find that video, watch it. Let me write it down so we could probably watch it together another show. Tucker, Russia, nuke, UK. All right, guys. One more video. BB is Amalek.
So you're saying Netanyahu is Amalek?
Netanyahu, I didn't have to say it. This is the fact. Amalek means people who uproot people from God. Especially the Jewish people uproot from God. This is the job of Netanyahu do. And exactly, he is the Amalek. But I didn't have to say it. This is just the fact. I bring out the fact on the table. But I say that with the full mouth. I have no problem to say that. He is the right Amalek. Who gives him the right to say who is Amalek, who's not? Of course, everybody who is his enemy will say he is Amalek. I can say for you. I can say for everybody. I mean, you have to understand what it means, Amalek. Now, I will come to another point. For 100 years ago, one of our greatest rabbis at that time, before the State of Israel, but after the Zionist movement begins, one of our greatest rabbis' name was the Chofetz Chaim. The books of the Chofetz Chaim you have in every single synagogue throughout the world. You will not find even one synagogue.
This is an actual Jew criticizing Zionists. The one the book of Revelation says those who call themselves to be Jews that are not Jews. This is this guy. He's an actual Jew who's trying to be faithful to the real story of it all.
Without his books, he was very famous, one of the biggest rabbis. He said that very clearly, that the Zionists are Amalek in today's day.
So you're saying Netanyahu is Amalek?
Netanyahu
the scientists. Was that what he said?
Amalek in today's day.
So you
Zionists are... He said that very clearly, that the Zionists are Amalek in today's day.
So you're saying Netanyahu is Amalek?
What a great video to end on. I love it. You know, when you want to know the truth, you go to the source, right? I think that's a big lesson we have, that we need to get comfortable doing. You don't have to change the minds of anybody. You just need to know how to find the truth. And the truth is the thread that doesn't contradict itself, right? If you're following one path and you walk into a contradiction, back up, turn around, go back to where you started. There's a lie there. Try another one. Look at it like a maze. Every time there's a contradiction, there's a wall. You got to turn around and go back the other way and find the path out. You know, a lie will always contradict itself because it is simply an untruth. And you got to learn to be a bloodhound for the path of least resistance when it comes to truth. And when it comes to truth, you have to be in touch with your intuition. You have to be in touch with your soul. And that's what women bring to the table. Men bring the divine masculine, the brute force, the protection, the logic, the builders, the hunters. It's beautiful. Women bring something just as beautiful, and it's the divine feminine, which is the intuition, being in touch with the sixth sense, what is unsaid, what is unspoken. Because we're a feelings being, and you have to be able to possess both the divine feminine and the divine masculine together in a healthy form in tandem to find truth. Because you have to defend what is right, but you have to be able to follow your instincts, because when your soul, your instincts are designed to keep you alive, and your body will immediately, first before your soul realizes, your body will realize a contradiction immediately. You react to it. Whether it's a verbal one, idealistic one, or a physical one, you react to it instinctually. And you have to learn to stay tapped into that gut system, the intuitive, the solar plexus. Your gut talks to you. And your immunity lives primarily in your gut. Your gut is alive in a different way, and it has it's your core, it's your center. There's a lot of magnetic forces moving through that core. But your stomach, your gut will tell you when something's wrong. When animals are in fear, and they run away and defecate, that's a GI response to anxiety, right? So you have a GI, some people have a GI response, some people have a frozen response, some people just start swinging, right? But it's that learning to be comfortable in that human form, really trust your senses, because you know when you're being lied to, you know it. But yet we've been taught to be so afraid of what's going to happen if we call it out right there on the spot, whether it's with our doctor or Walmart wrapping up ham saying it's 5 pounds when it's only 2. We have this want to keep the peace, but too much passivity leads to this dysfunction of society, just as much as too much. There goes my light. Just as much as this light, just as much as too much aggression leads to dysfunctional society. You have to be willing to be part of the thing that keeps the balance, which means you'll be the black sheep, because you're the force in the middle that is swaying and moving society. A leader feels alone. A leader gets criticized, but a leader is naturally followed regardless of the circumstances. But they do get criticized, and a lot falls on them. And leaders are always protecting the pack, and we take the blows. Whether that means that we're told we're crazy or we're told we blah, 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 whatever. We've all been through something where we've seen and faced evil, and now we protect the pack. So, oh my gosh, y'all in here being ridiculous. Anyway, I guess, with that, I'm gonna rate a show and see y'all.
Trisha Heaton looks great at 67. Here is her.
Hold up. Stop. I don't know, I gotta turn the volume off. All right, let me just copy this. All right, I guess I'm gonna rate a show. with that, I'll bid you guys adieu. I love all of you. I will be on Cool Frogs podcast, I guess. See you soon.